Alright then, gamers, howdy. Alright, Sunday evening bounty hunters, the things that you perhaps learned to expect so far. So for the upcoming 3 hours, we're gonna settle the 7 or 6, we'll get to that later, but yeah, 7 show matches shown on the screen currently. There are no skill level restrictions to participate, but skill-based matchmaking applies, so that all the matches turn out, hopefully, as exciting as possible. And the name of the game is Guilty Gear Strive, and the format is first to 7 wins. I'm your usual host QK, and now let's get this party started, or at least let's start figuring out what's what tonight. This week is a little chaotic since we got so many last minute or even last second switcherinos. So let me try to make sense of the order of the roster tonight. What is certain is that we're gonna start with Marisa versus Hoplan. That one is certain. Second slot match, I think, is gonna be pushed till later, potentially skipped. We'll have to see, because Toprak needs a little bit of stall. The third slot match, Puro versus Sabino, was cancelled, but there are currently talks about Civ hopping on and perhaps replacing Puro to play against Sabino. Puro, of course, fallen ill on a short notice. We'll try to figure that in the background, you know, what character is going to be played. I think Civ and Sabino are currently sort of sparring it out and seeing what character pairing might fit the best. And I believe we are going to play rest of the matchups as is, or not necessarily as is, but they are all going to be played. The order might change though. I think Raven and Daugion, as well as Zikra and koolmees, desired to be last slot, or rather last slots, but we'll see how we can weave things together with Toprak needing a bit of stall. We'll see how it is going to turn out. But, you know, as per usual, the slogans of the show are "show must go on" and "fuck it, we'll do it live." If some things don't work out, we'll do the rest as well as we can. We still have a decent number of matchups to be played tonight still, and you know, things are kind of exciting because, like, starting from the first slot, I think maybe the matchup that I've been anticipating the most. Very, very emotionally loaded matchup this is. Let's get the cards in. So yeah, so this is an interesting one. Marisa, we haven't had him too many times over, and I think the times we've had Marisa, it's been on Axel, but Marisa has a really, really good Sin. Now, we could say that Marisa is the more experienced player, perhaps, out of these two, but Hoplan has some interesting benefits going into this matchup as well. For one, Hoplan plays a lot with Sins, different Sins, and recently Hoplan has also picked a sub Sin himself, so that's opened up some new avenues, some new doors for how to play this matchup as Nagoriyuki as well. So even though Hoplan might be perceived as an underdog, I believe this might be a really, really exciting matchup, because I think, you know, based on what I've played with Hoplan, the matchup Sin versus Nagoriyuki myself, there's a lot of cool stuff. You're gonna see. We'll roll the credits, or roll the whatchamacallit, let the prologue run itself, and let the cinema unfold. I think this might be a really good one. There are other good matches this evening as well, but let's start with what we have. And since it is almost 5 p.m. CEST, the players certainly can start at their own leisure. Let me ping Marisa and Hoplan that go time is okay. Oh, don't even need to. We are rolling in. So Sin versus Nagoriyuki. Very explosive matchup, but requires certain kind of, well, requires a lot of different adjustments from both sides. For Sin, the problem is that Nagoriyuki is perhaps slightly stronger at the round start while blood is available. So you have to be really careful picking your spots when you're gonna engage, stuff like that. Do you wanna try to draw out blood before you commit, before you take those risks, or are you just gonna go in guns blazing and sort of rely on your damage potential? The damage potential that has been improved quite a bit in Season 4, especially for the whatchamacallit, the big driver cancel. Speaking of those big drivers, gotta counter hit with that immediately, and Hoplan recognizes as long as the stamina meter is full, that is gonna be a very painful combo, and that is always gonna be a wall break as well. Ooh, was able to turn the super between the Wild Assault, even though, you know, the red Wild Assault kind of super strong in block strings. Once Nagoriyuki is loaded with that 50, that is basically a reversal DP plus, because it does give blood back to the Nagoriyuki player. As you can see, Hoplan was kind of high on blood, but now the blood has basically fallen off. This combo could have actually killed Hoplan if that was high blood on the low damage modifier. Now we have a lot of... Ooh, is the Timpia pop? Marisa actually getting the throw there before I think Kamuriki goes online. Interesting. It's a really down to the wire situation, as it often tends to be with Nagoriyuki. The blood, whether you can kill the opponent. Nice interruption there. It's gonna be decent corner carry. Now Marisa is stamina start for a moment. Hoplan ready to strike in. The ball gives away before we're able to get to that 50 meter, and it should be a pretty decent spot for Marisa, able to get an air-to-air hit, but not quite able to get the conversion. Those air-to-air hits are a little difficult for Sin. Sin would usually like to take the combo to the ground as soon as possible to start his special juggle. Started with a 6B into, comboing into the blood-sucking universe. Now we have a lot of resources for sure. Marisa tries to strike, however, wasn't able to get stuff done. Gets a good throw though into the empty jump, low meaty. Hoplan finds a 5 heavy. That's a lot of real estate from just a single strike. But Nagoriyuki is very powerful at this high level of blood, but also takes a lot of damage. Look at this. A clean hit through the wall. Hoplan has so many resources though. Gotta be careful with that reversal super. That reversal super is especially dangerous because it reaches so far as well. But this should be the decisive hit for the first one for Marisa. Very, very close one though. Already we have a lot of the chips on the table. If Marisa lets Hoplan get started, it's gonna, you know, Hoplan definitely knows how to deal with this character. Ooh, and then 2 6 heavies. That's half of your life, and the rest is probably gonna be gone unless Marisa goes for the burst. And now Hoplan chooses to use the combo breaking mechanic as well. Very low on stamina here, so let's see if we can keep the beast in the corner. Nice, finds a nice 2K 2D, which with 50 meter, even without stamina, will be able to take the wall. Tries to bait something. Hoplan not biting, but ready to burn stamina, or rather meter himself. Straight 6K into a knockdown. Not able to get the knockdown from this one, but the plus frames of the Elk 2, creating enough discouragement for Hoplan to press buttons there. And Marisa able to find a throw. Those are really important, especially when you're low on stamina. Being able to get a throw in is like a godsend. It's like, oh, thank God. It's like we're breathing again. Kind of same as getting the blood-sucking universe as Nagoriyuki. And again, here's the interruption. Knows that 2K 2D string into Beat Driver is never airtight, so you can interrupt that if you think that opponent will go for a special cancel. And able to crouch under. This is one of the curses, one of the Kiss family curses. You have really shallow hitting jump in, so Hoplan able to just crouch under that instant air dash jump heavy and then punish on the landing instead. Through the wall, but the power slash, we're definitely gonna burn here. Hoplan actually aborting the sequence, doesn't even need to use tension here. And the super, it's gonna be close. Sin is pretty good with the recent upgraded guts, but I think this super just deals way too much. Through the wall we go, and Hoplan strikes back 1-1. And there's so much action in this matchup. It's kind of like, from Sin side, you kind of would like to slow it down as much as possible, but Nagoriyuki, there are just, that's a DP, 6 heavy, into 6 heavy. Actually, yeah, we can get a 5k6 heavy there as well. Marisa getting their way in. Now jumps out, gets a jump heavy. Completely nullified, gets a counter hit as well. Would this be enough to take it to the wall and then kill? Not quite. And while that combo has progressed, Marisa has been able to build a little bit of stamina. Not needing to use it for this conversion though. Take it to the next screen. Hard knockdown, what are we gonna do? Microdash 5B frame kill into an elk. Oh, we're gonna go for the samurai mix! At a very opportune moment as well, because Marisa was so low that one overhead hitting could have been the deal ender, or rather the round ender. That's kind of like, even with the nerfed samurai mix that Nagoriyuki can still do, it's like, it's as potent as ever as long as the opponent is low health. Good check there, but no stamina to follow it up, unfortunately for Marisa. Spending the wild assault, trying to stall for time, get that stamina plus frames out of the beak true. Ooh, gets a counter hit from the beak, but no stamina, no tension. It's gonna be no conversion either. Now Hoplan with the FRC was able to save a little bit of that meter, which we're gonna spend now. Pop to the other side, that's gonna be a close slash and should be a kill unless Hoplan finds a burst just in time. 0 health though. Any special move or block? Oh, that's a great reaction. There is nothing that Sin can do there on the ground unless you use one of your inable moves. But that is a huge commitment. You're usually, when you see that, either that, you're usually gonna be, what's it called? Damn, the Fukio starter. Usually Fukio into clone to get to the opponent from the other side of the screen. You would have to react to the Fukio, but it is not it is not necessary that there is gonna be that clone afterwards that you could DP. This is the bite. Oh, Marisa gonna punish that into the empty low, but the default shield here is pretty okay. It does take care of both of the low and the late air dash overhead as well. Slicing and dicing, this is gonna help with the blood. Get the wall break as well. Marisa, lots of resources to defend with. But how long can you defend against this beast? White Wild Assault, nullified with YRC. Both players slowly running out of the hell and goes for the 2k2D instead from the guard crush situation. Much less rewards, but in this kind of situation, when you're just trying to get the last pixel of the opponent, you don't necessarily want to go for the close slash. You can pretty comfortably just go for the low, the fast low. Perhaps waiting for the burst from Marisa here, Hoplan, dropping the combo a little prematurely. Pushed into the corner. Gonna be able to build to the 50-meter Tyrant barrel, break the wall. Marisa looking pretty good after that one lost game. Get a counter hit, that's gonna be a pickup, and that's gonna be enough to get the kill as well. Even on low blood Nagoriyuki. A lot of optimization as far as Sin combo theory goes comes from trying to reduce the stamina spent on your combos, so stuff like, ooh, interesting, using a raw gazelle step here to skip into the opponent's guard and getting a throw. And now we do have the juice to finish this up with a hard knockdown. But look at Hoplan's resources, everything is available. Blood as well, goes straight for the super. Did Hoplan have over 100? Yeah, they did. So this is just a get me safe out of jail for free. Really nothing you can do about a 100 spend. Ooh, the Ilk gets there just in time. Rare footage of Ilk actually beating Nagoriyuki. Super rare. Whiffs with the 6B. Hoplan is ready to punish, waiting for the burst. The burst doesn't come. Marisa can actually afford to do this because he is 1 round up. Backdash gets met by Nagoriyuki, but without a cancel, that's gonna be minus. And the pop here, good presence of mind for Marisa. Recognizing after that Beyblade, there basically was nothing to be done anymore for Hoplan, as long as you take it easy and don't ram yourself into the blood explosion. Ooh, here's the layer 2. So without cancel, the Beyblade is throw punishable. It is, I think, -2 or something like that. But usually canceled into something such as what Hoplan did here, the back Hukio, which can bait options that the opponent can try to mount, either strikes on your minus frames or the throw punish if you don't cancel. Lots of damage done. We're gonna wake up with the Hulk Baker and spend all of that juice. This is kind of worth it if the Wolf gives in. Yes, it does. With that clean hit, I think it was required to get that clean hit to get the wall as well. Ooh, very patient, standing very, very far. That's going to be a complete whiff, but with that 100, Hoplan once again getting away, getting out of the jail for free, or maybe not for free, because meter is so important. Doesn't need any of that stamina or any of that tension though to finish the round. Ooh, once again, Elk Hunt meeting with Komodiyuki. So, ooh, interesting, almost getting a quotation back shot with that beak driver. It's a very rare occurrence, but you could, I think, theoretically pick with a close slash if you cross over the opponent like that. Backdash from Hoplan, get out of there. Now, we're working with only 75 meter. Have to cancel here to not get punished. The close slash counter hit seals the deal for Marisa. Going into the last game, or rather last round of the game number 5 here. Hoplan skips in with that Fukyo. A little slow on the reaction side there for Marisa. Of course, the forward Fukyo always reactable, but you do have to be a little worried if the Fukyo is backwards Fukyo instead. Although, from that neutral situation, you can kind of be sure that it's always going to be forward. In which case, it is a reaction test, and that reaction test was what started this onslaught of a situation to finish the game for Hoplan. Hanging on the trail of Marisa. Hoplan is definitely a momentum-based player, starting with the DP. There's only only two sequences that you can use to beat this. You can go either for round start 2D to counter, or you walk back and try to predict the gap between the first and the second hit. Ooh, skipping to the other side. That's kind of cute. Didn't even have to use stamina for that. And now, spending one for the Kara cancel. Very cheap wall break. Lots of damage because, look, Hoplan is at pretty high blood value. The whole overhead still reaches there with the deflect shield? Interesting. Must have been running forward for a very long time. Lots of momentum and then canceling straight away. It's sometimes a little dangerous with those. Ooh, checking the Elk Hunt, as you should. Glow slash hits so far. It's so hard to fuck with that anti-air. Basically, for Sin, every character who has that, you know, high sky reaching close slash, such as like Nagariyuki, Slayer, Milia, Leo, Johnny, characters like that, it's so dangerous to try to approach them from straight above. Got an IBFD in there on the second hit of the far slash sequence, as you should whenever you can. Uh-oh, but here's a bait. This could be the start of a comeback. Marisa has very decent amount of resources, chooses to not go for the super here, or perhaps a miss input, we shall never know. We do double it up though, and now we're basically guess for your life kind of situation. Hoplan, all of the meter is present. We are gonna see PRC here, drifting backwards, interesting. So playing a little safe here. Samurai Mix gonna pop and the backdash avoids it! It's sometimes so difficult when you kind of know that the Nago player is going for the broke, trying to basically just find any sort of hit and trying to perhaps pop in your face as well. Ooh, the 2D here. Tried to read another DP round start perhaps for Marisa did. DP gets us out of there. Very important to not get cornered against Nagariyuki. The high blood corner boxing sequence, look at this, it's so, oh, it hurts. It's so hard to deal with for this character. You would think that with that bar slash and that beak driver and that Elk Hunt that Sin has, it would be easy to get through. But even getting an Elk Hunt can be quite an ordeal. With Kara cancel, hit confirm into Tyrant Barrel. Oh, 6K has a really fast recovery, basically the same recovery as Close Slash, which is for seeing something like 10 frames-ish. So it's, if you're just holding it and not canceling it into anything, there's a decent chance that you might bait reversal sometimes or bait wire Cs like that. Oh, the 6K Heavy actually ends up whiffing here. Rare footage. Yeah, so much reach, so much, or rather, I guess the disjoint is the more prominent factor of that move. And Hoplan is available. Mentally ready to react. 5P as an anti-air. As you probably, oh, big counter hit. Switch to the other side. Do we still have a pickup? No.
but making best out of that situation. Or I mean, I'm not sure if you can even call this bad when opponent's life is just melting away. 2/3 gone. Doesn't even matter if you're on high blood. The next slice is not gonna kill. Luckily, we are Sin Kisk and we have the stamina and we have the guts. But now, Samurai Mix could be imminent. Gets slowed, and Hoplan, again, doesn't let Marisa run away with too much of a lead. Only 4-3. But eventually Hoplan will have to get those consecutive rounds, right? If you wanna get to the driver's seat and finish this set successfully as a winner. Although I would say being able to go toe-to-toe, even with an experienced player like Marisa. Ooh, do we get a 6B? That 6B is a little slow. So Marisa able to land and get the landing recovery out of there as well. Interesting, whipping a 6K into an elk hunt. Missing the meaty timing now, Hoplan. Resetting into -2 out of that 6 heavy on block, but that's also a really good spacing for Nagoriyuki. Very hard for Sin to necessarily find any sort of strikes there before Nagoriyuki, even if you are +2. Oh, are we Samurai Mixing? We are popping! Let's see if we get a hit. Alright. Spinning it like that. Okay. That's probably almost as much damage as you could have gotten from the baseball bat super, right? With the difference that, oh, but the close slash is already active. Hoplan was maybe hoping that the active frames hadn't started already and the throw was perhaps possible, but no dice. Close slash, I don't think that's gonna recover in time. Hoplan is gonna reversal out of this jail and bring it 4 points even. We are starting to, not even starting to, but we're gonna start to breeze past the mid game as well, as the rounds keep piling up, the games keep piling up so fast. The delay on the overhead second hit of the DP there catches Marisa momentarily. Even like these heavy slices on hit, the strikes on hit are actually a huge deal, because the Season 4 changes that once you are on high blood, ooh, nice reversal out of the corner. Once you are on high blood as Nagoriyuki, those heavy swings are gonna deal so much chip damage. Good 6B, no follow-up. Ooh, the backwards Fukyo shimmy. But Marisa is not quite done yet. 2B, 6B into a wall break, Tyrant Barrel. Such good supers on this character, Sin Kisk. Nice, finds another really quick conversion, and that's actually gonna be enough. Just with a couple of low conversions into, like a jab kind of conversions into super to break the wall twice in a row. This is kind of what Sin Kisk is all about. Just taking the wall as often as possible from basically any hit as possible. Ooh, we can side switch here if we want to, or we could just push forward and go to the other corner. Got the combo though, so Hoplan getting out. Getting slightly away with murder here, and perhaps doing the murder himself now. Close slash. Ooh, the jump in the air actually able to sort of thwart the timing of Hoplan's a little bit. The reaction, look at this boy! He's learned it! He's learned the tech! Throws the L-cut out of its startup. One of the sort of holy grails of anti-Sin matchup tech to strive for. Again, 6B to kill the beat driver. Popping. Right, choosing to spend the burst here, but now problem here is Hoplan is gonna be 0 blood, so lots of blood burn. Standing at the right distance, bar slash is gonna be whip punished by Naga's own, and we're surely gonna get the kill here. And for the first time, Hoplan is on that front seat, sitting much closer, or not much closer, but sitting closer to the victory.
Duel 1.
Against a senior player, Marisa. Hoplan has practiced this matchup so much. I think this must be the best matchup for Hoplan in the game. He's played it so much, he's practiced it from the other point of view as well. He knows so much, he is actually locked in, and he has the snowball as well. At this point, you're like, no matter who you are, standing on the other side of the screen, and you're like, God damn it, how do I stop this beast? Hoplan once again slides into the close slash, another combo. At this point, but the combo you get, there we go. That's the kind of interaction that I would be waiting for when it comes to Elkhunt versus Beyblade. It's usually the Beyblade that starts a little bit faster, can perhaps hop over the low properties of the Elkhunt, as we call in the industry, low crush it and just absolutely kill it. Now seeing a little bit of that maybe perhaps desperation or guts, depending on how you choose to look at it. Starting the round with a DP and then going into the 5D. Marisa trying to pull out all the stops to put a stop to this Nagariki Beast. 5D tap, we have the juice this time. This could be a kill. No, the L can actually just connect there. So now, big run back attempt from Hoplan. We have the resources as well. This is basically gonna reset the life, or rather the blood back at 0. And it is guess for your life kind of situation. Marisa would have to have burst to get out of a successful hit. Do we have one? Deflect shield. He's Hoplan who goes for the burst, but this could be punishable. No, never mind, it's 100 meter. Hoplan has been in that situation so many times where he has the 100 meter, but this time it's Marisa pulling out the reversal super with a PRC. And the DP, you gotta let it rip sometimes. You can't let them get too comfortable. The wall break, running out of stamina in between, and now we're trying to make the best out of this low resource situation. Seeing one of the most interesting resource management characters trying to weigh the risk and reward. Should I go in? Should I disengage? Should I go back to neutral and try to recover my stamina? No, we're going in. OTG is not enough! But the 2K, Marisa still in it. We're in the chase. Marisa needs 2, Hoplan needs 1. Let's see if the pressure is too much. It is now Marisa who has to perform the sort of the absolute momentum switch that Hoplan had to do earlier to get to the better situation. That's a big counter hit. Hoplan probably knows. Spend the burst before too much damage is done. The patience waiting for the DP, and then this time not waiting long enough. The Hoplan ready to release the reversal super as well. Gonna relieve the blood situation as well. Marisa with 50. There are a lot of options on the table. Hoplan used to play it very safe, just waiting for the blood to come back from the super. Alright, from a simple hit confirm into 5 heavy and kill. Oh, we're gonna try to go for the RTL Buster 100. It is actually enough. That's a good spot. On 0 blood Nagariki, that probably wouldn't have been possible, but with high blood, that's gonna deal so much damage. And now from the throw, we're gonna go into the high-low. Hoplan gets it right, stands up for the overhead. Backwards Fukyo trying to bait something here. Back into the pressure, has to spin the 50 meter, and now Marisa is dry. Or is he? We still have Wild Assault, and now we're slowly building that stamina back. We have 1, soon to be 2, and you know the 2 is the magic number. This is so hard to whiff punish. Oh, that hurts my soul so bad. You see that 2S whiff at that range, but unless you already have dashing momentum, you know it probably is gonna whiff. Still, Marisa deals with it calm and collected, puts it 6-6, and ladies and gentlemen, it's gonna be the last one of the first match of the evening. Would Hoplan be able to do it? I think it would be so big. It would actually be crazy big. And of course, Marisa doesn't want the young whippersnapper to get too comfortable. Put them in their place before they overtake you. Ooh, but the bait here. 6 heavy into 5k 6 heavy, half of your life gone. Tap it. We have the resources to kill. Or not quite, but put the opponent into basically a... Oh, I think this was a 100 RTL. Yeah, PRC into quick RC to heavy Hoplan. Staying patient though. No need to take big risks, at least yet, until you are in guess for your life kind of situation. Any hit here, 5P, YRC in the air. However, this frame situation is so fuzzy. This frame situation is so weird. I'm not even sure who was at plus there, but Hoplan getting the first round. And now Hoplan for the first time on set point. Get the throw. Once again, reacting to that L count. Ooh, that's a big one. And an OTG. One more hit. Hoplan comes with 1 bar of blood. That's too heavy. Reaches far enough away. Now Hoplan, 1 more. Are we gonna go for it? No. Same patience still. No samurai mix-up just yet. And Marisa ready to spend that 2 stamina. We have 50. Spend it on the FRC, break the wall, get the positive bonus. Situation life-wise equalized, but the 2S on high blood, the startup has been improved. It's rather important. Ooh, nice reaction. DP there against the Kamuriyuki. It's already going active, but the deflect shield! The deflect shield! It did not come out very often, but Hoplan at the most dire, desperate hour, using the power of the 50 stamina, or the 50 burst, pushing Marisa away, and no special cancels this time. The first time this happened was mid-screen when Marisa went for the Hoof 2 cancel, which for some reason actually still reached Hoplan, but not this time. The deflect shield just sending Marisa to the mid-screen. And the Kamuriyuki does the deed here. Bay played for great justice. At that point, I don't even know exactly like what is your best course of action as Sin. I guess to not cancel, or you would probably have to be reading the deflect shield already and do something that can sort of offset it. Maybe even wild assault yourself. But Hoplan 7-6. Yeah, I knew. With my soul's eyes, I knew it was gonna be like this. It was gonna be close. You might have thought that Hoplan did not have a chance against this behemoth, but he do. He absolutely do. In a matchup that is probably one of his best currently in Guilty Gear Strive. What a match. What a guy. The favorite of the Finnish FGC, Hoplan Nagoriyuki. God, that guy is hot. Okay, well, now we have a little bit of a question here. A conundrum, if you will. Who are we gonna play next? So Civ said they'd like to be on a third slot. Let me ask Civ and Sabino if we could perhaps play this slot first. That was quite the hustle. I'm always a little bit worried that when there's a matchup that is so exciting for me personally in like number 1 or number 2 matchup slots, that I'm gonna go all out and then the rest of the evening is gonna be a little tough. But man, you can't you can't be dissatisfied with this turn of events. It's freaking... I feel like every single of Hoplan's matches tends to be like the matchup of the century. But maybe it's the bias. Maybe it's the Finnish bias talking. So Sabino said that he would be okay playing now. What other options do we have? If Civ needs third slot, we could play RageWolf versus Whale as well. I see, so Civ is not home yet. So let's give a call to RageWolf and Whale. See if they would be okay to play next. Sorry, it's gonna be a little scuffed tonight because of because of the difficulties of, you know, tournament organizing. Got a lot of cancels, you got a lot of last minute changes. It do be like that. Gotta take a huge sip while we can. Well says good to go. RageWolf says good to go as well. Alright, so we're gonna hop on this one next. So RageWolf versus Whale. So it's been a while since we've seen RageWolf. I think RageWolf had a really long sort of like a streak on bounty hunters around, I feel like around a year ago or so. After which has taken a little bit of a hiatus from playing in, at least on bounty hunters. Well, on the other hand, is rather new as well, but I'm
pretty sure that Whale has played one match on Bounty Hunters. These are kind of the things that I should probably remember, but this is also why we have the statistics sheet. Yeah, I am correct. Whale has played one. It was that introduction match versus Radoon. Yeah, which Whale has under her belt. So this will be the second time on Bounty Hunters against very different kind of matchup than last time. RageWolf Bridget. Not gonna be the big gorilla running at you all the time, although Bridget does pose other kind of problems for our puppet master. That what's it called? Stop and dash? Yo-yo toss? I guess colloquially known as yo-yo toss, especially the aggressive version where you just toss it with a hitbox on the way out. Probably a kind of annoying thing as, like, if you are able to summon at full screen, it's probably not gonna do too much against Bridget. Bridget has so much reach, has really good low checks as well as 2S, can send that yo-yo, can potentially pounce at you with kickstart, maybe kickstart break if you want to be a little more safe with that disjoint, or maybe go for the kickstart shoot across the screen, spend RC, cleave everything in front of you, even the puppet, and try to make Zato play as little as a solo character as possible, or wait, the other way around, as much as a solo character as possible. Try to eliminate the puppet as much as possible, I guess, is the obvious analysis of this matchup. As we know, Zato alone, not very powerful, but when you can create that sandwich with your best buddy, it is good for Zato. Lots of damage, lots of mix-up potential, but the difficulty of piloting this character is you can only have a limited amount of time in those best situations when you can actually work in tandem with your puppet. And you're trying to maximize that time as much as possible, or from the other point of view, you're trying to save your resources so that you can save yourself, try to ignore those interaction situations as much as possible when you don't have that puppet gauge ready to go yet. But it's been a while since I've seen this matchup being played. It's gonna be interesting to see how we are gonna approach this one. My mental bias is that Bridget probably has pretty good control over this, and Zato will have to somehow find the openings without getting your puppet destroyed too much. It can feel bad when you don't have the luxury of summoning at mid-screen at all, but I mean, I don't know. Let's figure it out. Getting a summon out immediately, runs a little bit too close to the sun and gets thrown into the corner. Now with the rolling movement, just performing those long block strings, which is, goes low with the 2S. However, no follow-up. Puppet gauge is ready to go. Summoning little guy, getting a very decent amount of damage for your troubles and building to that ever so important 50. Even though we missed the wall break, that Sun Void means that the puppet gauge is immediately refunded. Able to unsummon as well just before the wall break, so making sure that puppet is ready to go at will. Summoning into, yeah, that's of course one of the things that you can always do. Summon into a pose, which will absorb basically everything as long as you're holding the puppet shield. But the downside is it consumes quite a bit of your puppet gauge at a rapid pace, and you only have so much time. So if you start with the oppose, then you have less amount to spend on your combo and or your pressure sequence. Tried to go for the too heavy, perhaps expecting the instant air dash out of the corner, which never came. Checking with the low 2S, shoots a little too far. I guess you usually would need to have the 50 meter for the shoot RC combo that you're looking for. RageWolf might have been trying to get to the 50 meter there with the kickstart, but just didn't quite get there. Now summon, time to hold this, stands up for the overhead, stands up for the 6 heavy as well. But at the end of the sequence, the command grab, which spends, or rather wastes so much time, and the 5D tap is successful this time, misses whatever input that was. This could be bad. He's one of the most bleeding characters, one of the most vulnerable characters in the game.
But we do have the resources. YRC, we still almost had a full burst bar as well, which is perhaps one of the most important lifelines for characters like this who are just all about the offense and just don't have almost anything in terms of defensive maneuverability. Like, your defense is probably when you get to this position, jump out and start your flight and then do a lot of shenanigans. Yeah, this is something that Zato is good at, but if you're strictly in block stun or in block strings, nah, you don't have a lot. You don't really have a lot. And when you get hit, it's gonna hurt you so much, especially since you are a zero guts character. People can kill you from half health very easily. Now, RageWolf has a lot of that juice left to go, but how are we gonna spend that? YRC is always a universal option to take out the puppet, which is one of the banes of Zato mains usually. Like, how do you deal with the YRC that the opponent would inevitably go for and try to snipe your puppet during your pressure string? Ooh, nice, bouncing around in the air. Stalling enough time, finding the hit, and that's gonna be a lot of damage on the successful hit here. Well, starting very strong here. Let me see, are we gonna have a unsummon? No, just commits into it. If that sequence did not yield, it would have been very dangerous for Whale. But I mean, trust in your ability to mix them up, especially when you are playing a set play character. Ooh, got the snipe here before the summon came out. I think I tried to summon into maybe Pierce or something. And now here he's showing how much damage even a low damage character like Bridget can do when the target just does not have the defensive modifiers. And there we go. Gonna go down with 2 combos. I guess that was 3 touches basically, but you know, it's not a whole lot that it requires to ultimately down the Puppet Master. Let's see how can we get out of this pressure sequence? BRC. All right, we still get the wall break and the positive bonus. Oh, going straight into the 6 heavy, pouncing forward, disjointed from the rear. The DP ain't gonna do anything. It's especially dangerous for like weaker DP characters. Ooh, what was that? What was that command grab? Maybe I misinput. But RageWolf is ready to whiff punish immediately for your life. Just a little bit more guts. Oh, got to the burst just in the nick of time. Summon into. Wait, that was an Oppo. Wait, that was Drunkard Shade. Did that actually do something about the projectile? Sent the sword downwards. We got the puppet back from that. Mix it. Not a kill, and a good fuzzy jump out. Predicting that the last nail in the coffin was gonna be a throw or a command grab. RageWolf evens it 1-1. What a chess match that second match was. It is a lot about the feast and famine, unless you wait patiently like that. Yeah, because sometimes you have to commit like this. On the first sequence, well, went for the unsummon, which when you do the unsummon, it is gonna refund a lot of your puppet gauge back really fast. Nice F-Shiki there. But of course, in the tried and true Bridget, Bridget way, a lot of those hits are not gonna do that much damage unless you have like sick amount of risk, or if you get like a close slash counter hit or something. Decent damage here, and more importantly, Well is out of puppet gauge still. No resources whatsoever. Deflect Shield was the only thing that you could have potentially done, but that is a huge risk when you are 1 hit away from going down. Can you justify spending half of that very ever so important burst gauge in order to try to play one more time, or do you just take it like a champ and move to the next round? Ooh, big one! Summoning into the oppose. I feel like you rarely get this in a Bridget matchup because Bridget stands so far away from you, but a rare occurrence where you actually get to summon into a pose, absorb their hit, and then go into the big combo that we have known to see from Zato players once that oppose really hits right. Oh, are we good? Okay, we're good. Everybody chill. This is a rather far-range connection. I believe Spain to Egypt, if I recall correctly. So I was expecting the routing to be a little bit more rocky than it actually seems to be. But ooh, missing the air throw, straight into the puppet summon. This should be a kill, I think, especially with the 100-meter. Go for the super that deals more damage. Splats! Get the kill, and well, once again, in a lead just by a little bit. Been really good at capitalizing on those moments when you get your pressure started. This time starting it from a little bit further away, so very little damage done. Like considering you spent your whole puppet cage and now have to hold this pressure for a little while, you're usually looking for at least like 1/3 of your opponent's life, rather like half of your life, because like having to stall for that puppet gauge can be lethal, so you would like to be in that situation as seldom as possible. The 2K, dive low, the puppet gauge is ready to go. However, RageWolf has been able to get into the striking position here. Yo-Yo coming back. Once again, have to stall for time. The jump, the flight. Ooh, that button is really good. But well, sorry, RageWolf was able to trade into it, I think, with the use of Too Heavy there, which is one of the most premium anti-air buttons in the game. Very few characters in this game have the good old classic. Oh, nice backdash and a punish. Once again, RageWolf has had a really good scent for those throws, especially at the end of the round. I understand that though. When the round nears its climax point, it's very tempting to go for that throw, because you're like, it works even if the opponent is blocking, and it doesn't matter that it's so little damage if it's the last hit that you have to land to take the round. But shield. Oh, perfect timing there. Getting a counter hit with the close slash. These are the kind of combos that we were talking about that hits for a lot of damage, and that was a kill from very, very high health. I think it was like 2/4, maybe 2/4, but still very respectable damage as far as Bridget is concerned. Tap the 5D, we stand up, but not for the second one. Still, a lot of puppet gauge was used, but ooh, that's so nice! Going for the rolling movement and then canceling into the Roger dive so that the anti-air is just gonna be missed completely. And getting like any sort of hit on Zato is super important. When you touch him on block, the puppet disappears. Ooh, F-Shiki! The last hit, ooh, we didn't get the 2D! The 2D is so important. One of your best ways to set up your yo-yo mix-ups on Oki. So it's perhaps the most important part of your combos a lot of the time. Oh, so going for the super immediately. That is a safe super. Maybe a little expensive, but looks like we're getting the value for it. Tap the 5D again. Oh, unfortunately, the follow-up puppet move was already ready to break the wall. Right, able to block out of the flight. And then looking for a little bit more stall. In fact, is not gonna need any of the puppet's help because the opponent was so low that the 2K is gonna be enough. It's XP, interrupting whatever well was flowing into. Glow slash pressure started. Basic Guilty Gear stuff, glow slash, leading into more glow slashes or frame traps or tick throws. The throw option has been played twice. Tries to maybe play it 3 times, but this time, Whale is ready to strike back. Goes for the throw herself! And a great read once again from RageWolf. It feels like RageWolf is just basically decided, I'm not gonna take any more of those command grabs. They're so dangerous. Not only do they do a lot of damage for Zato, but also they stall around 50 meter or rather 50% of your puppet gauge. So it's a powerful stalling tool getting that in. But if you're working without your puppet, it can also be a dead giveaway that you kind of want to go for that command grab. That's the kind of point where your opponent is probably going to be just fuzzy jumping for dear life. Nice, found the whip punish, and now spent the wireless ult as well, set up the yo-yo. Oh, found a hit with close slash. Decent amount of damage, and now we're jumping out of the throws again. This time it's gonna be Will who's jumping out of RageWolf's throw. But the thing is, when you have the 50 meter, you can also kind of option select it. You can choose if you want to go for an immediate PRC option select, or you can try to option select, or rather RC as a reaction if your throw whips. And certain, slightly different kind of situation. Nice! Super jump, air throw, looked like it was. scoop them out of the air, throw them onto the ground, and RageWolf is once again, or not once again, I think for the first time on driver's seat in this set, if I recall correctly. Microdash to be able to beat the, what's that round start 2S from Zato? Interesting. That 2B must be pretty fast for Bridget. I forgot how fast exactly that is. Just raw deep dash throw. Ooh, waking up with a close slash, being a little feisty here. But it does make sense because both players have been sending a lot of throws over the other opponent's direction. So waking up with a move that deals a lot of damage could be what the doctor ordered. Decent combo. We're gonna get the unsummon as well, and we're ready to go again. However, the kickstart shoot thwarting the plans of RageWolf. We do have burst available though. Now what can we do? Try to go for an unsummon there, which was sniped out of the air by the yo-yo toss of RageWolves. Ooh, the too heavy ended up whipping. I guess doesn't matter as long as you're working in tandem with your buddy. Kind of same as Happy Chaos and working in unison with your gun. It's just me and my gun, me and my little Eddie. Still have to wait a little bit before the puppet gauge is back. We could summon here, does so. Immediate sandwich. This is the best sequence, or rather the best kind of place where you could be as Zato. Trying to finish. Is it enough? I think it's gonna be enough. This super is rather damaging after all. It's a good choice here, ending without even thinking about trying to get any sort of reset. Just see the kill when it's available. When you have the reach, just end it immediately so that you don't have to go back into that gameplay loop where you're sort of waiting for your shadow once again. Because it is, what, 8 seconds or something that you have to wait for it? Something crazy like that. Now going through the wall, safe jump into, going into the flight to the other side, can summon here. Ooh, got hit there, that's gonna be a big combo. Ready to combo break though? The cool thing about using Blue Burst against Zato, it's also gonna cleave the puppet, and it's gonna leave the main body all in his lonesome. And that target is very, very tempting afterwards. If you don't have your buddy ready to go, then yeah, you're kind of sitting duck, or I guess in a lot of situations a flying duck, because you know a lot of Zato players love to go airborne and love to use that flight. So just stall in the air and try to wait it out as much as possible. With the jump cancel, yo-yo comes back, so the jump is actually gonna be fairly safe. Sandwich, are you gonna burst here? Couldn't get a corner position. I think Will tried to go underground, but that's kind of old tech. Nowadays, the blue burst, you cannot escape it. Even if you go break the law, go underground, the burst is still gonna reach you. So in that sort of way, there's really no escaping it. You have to be in a position where you can like jump cancel or RC, but still the burst is gonna cleave your puppet. There's like you can't save it. I think there's no way to save it whatsoever. Oh, the yo-yo comes back, starting the sequence. This was aggressive yo-yo toss, so don't have to worry about it coming back, which was perhaps why Well had the courage to start this sequence. Sun Void doesn't break the wall? Interesting. I'm not 100% familiar what kind of conditions you need for Sun Void to hit properly and break the wall, but maybe it's an angle thing or something? Either way, it looked like it was pretty okay. You still refreshed your gauge. You were able to pick up afterwards, kind of like whatchamacallit, kind of like Nagariyuki Sour Spot super hits. That was a good snipe on the puppet, by the way, by RageWolf. Set up here, got the rolling movement mix-up, some of the best that Bridget has. Always guessing for that high-low. When you're coming in with that rolling movement, then there's no reversal out. Puppet, trying to get the sandwich, going, overshooting a little to the same side where the puppet was. And now can we do enough resetting into that jump D? The delayed overhead. I I reckon not the most safe move on block, especially without your puppet, but I mean, it's the age-old wisdom when you're hunting for that last hit, you're gonna do everything in your power to get it. Either even trade, then with an instant air dash, we get the party started for RageWolf. Deflect Shield does push RageWolf away for a moment, but not able to get any sort of strike or stop out of that. And now, yep, it's gonna be just a simple safe jump. Instant air dash, jump slash is, I don't think much that you're gonna be able to do there unless you have like burst, deflect shield, or YRC. Ooh, good patient blocks. Now we're gonna chase! The longer you spend in Break the Law, the longer it takes to go back to the surface as well. Rage kind of missing that timing to snipe the opponent out of that. DP covers the 6 heavy, I think it was. And then the delayed 2S finds more fish. Deflection, oh, it's exactly the same kind of situation we had previously. Oh, the tracking gets completely bamboozled. Maybe it was because Well was just about crossing over RageWolf's head. Set it up. We got a bluff to heavy whips, but no retaliation from the opponent either. And we're gonna break it with a Kata cancel into Loop. Lots of damage. 0 guts character after all, Zato. Hurts quite a bit, even if it doesn't on other characters usually. Ooh, got an IPFD there as well, for good measure. A lot of the times when you're kind of like waking up or in a situation where there's nothing else you can do than block, you might as well try to IBFD. It's probably never a bad idea if you happen to get it. Oh, is he gonna track? Yes, it will. Brings out the puppet as well. Is this gonna track it? No, it's not. However, RageWolf getting a really good trade here. Trading with the puppet is gone. One more hit. Drill is, we haven't seen, what's it called? What's the drill called? I forget. We haven't seen a lot of drills in this matchup, which is usually, you would think that would be a good move against characters like Bridget, who stand on the other side of the screen, and you kind of want to snipe their far range pokes, but I guess, you know, Zato players probably know the best, and maybe it's not a good gamble. Invite Hell, that's the move. Invite Hell. Damn. Old age comes early when you forget your favorite special moves names. Got the unsummon there just before as well. Good stuff. And now, in case the opponent did anything, Amorphous will be blocked, will be plus as well if I recall correctly. Good blocks on the overhead. The last low does sink in. And falls straight into a 5D anti-air. I mean, I guess RageWolf could have hit a button there, one of Bridget's deeper hitting air moves, maybe like jump slash or something. Should have maybe been able to anti-air the 5D, or sorry, not anti-air, counter anti-air. Jump in on the 5D. I guess that's the moral of the story. Finds a 2K2D. That's a party starter. Ooh, we're mixing up. We have resources as well, which are not going to be used here. Deflect Shield does buy value for... Oh, what? What button? Why in my God, holy guilty gear? The hitboxes, I love this franchise. Every single time, plus R, Exard, Strive. Freaking wonky hitbox interactions, I love it. 2K does sink in, but second normal ends up whipping. We're still in it. The pressure, the butt pressure starts here as soon as it ends here as well. Now, heading into the last round, oh, where I guess that's Zato's equivalent of Bridget's 6 heavy, which is the butt. Pouncing, yeah, that move. Pouncing at your opponent. Maybe low crushing. I'm not 100% familiar with the hitbox portion of that move. Was looking for that burst for quite a few seconds there, but RageWolf smartly delaying it enough to get the value out. But now, Will has so many resources. We could see YRC, or we could save it because we know that this combo ain't gonna kill, and especially since RageWolf is not gonna have the hard knockdown. Now we can use the 100 meter and checkmate. Isn't that brilliant? Oh, or is it? There we go. able to stall time. This ain't gonna be a kill. Oh, never mind, that's gonna be a kill! Yo! The decision to not spend any of those resources before the wall break, that was ingenious. I'm not sure if it went like this in Wells' head, but of course you're gonna take that wall break, then it's gonna be a soft knockdown, you go back to neutral, you have 100 and the opponent is gonna be toast. Because you know how much value, how much of an advantage you can get in Guilty Gear games when you have more meter than your opponent. Absolutely brilliant. But let's see if that's gonna be enough for Well to run this back. It's 5-4 at the moment in favor of RageWolf, summoning into, ooh, that was a good 2P. Waiting for the puppet to be spent forward. And then snipe it. 2S is well placed here. Both players are trading hits. There's the sandwich. We have 100 meters to go for Sun Void, which I think nowadays you can't just go willy-nilly because you... I forgot what they changed about it exactly because you don't really see a lot of Zato players nowadays, so I tend to forget, but you can't really utilize Sun Void as you could in previous patches. Which is probably one of the reasons why we don't really see it used as much like that, to just get a free puppet in all sort of like all situations. Gonna have to pick your spot when to use it. Double jump into. Oh, but the too heavy. The too heavy reaches so far. It almost looked like Well already had sort of flown to the right side where it could maybe dodge the too heavy, but no dice. Big hitbox. Oh, the yo-yo coming back, pulling Well back onto the ground, and then the giant air throw again. OTG Scooter, try to go for the throw. No dice, Gold Burst gets, it's gonna get a pretty decent value for Well if she was able to maintain the offensive pressure position. Ooh, big drop though from RageWolf. Oh, covered it with that throw. The air throws have been immaculate for RageWolf so far, and now we gotta persevere for a little while, or maybe not too long. If the opponent misses the throw in front of us, basically a birthday gift coming for RageWolf. Thank you very much. I will happily take that. RageWolf was blocking there as well, was respecting, would have absolutely gotten thrown if only, well, just a couple more steps forward. But hey, that's how it is. 1 or 2 frames can make the difference when you're trying to move forward in these children's rhythm games, aka fighting games. Ooh, the instant air dash jump slash hits once again. Quick gotta cancel. We'll take the round. So this would be the first set point for RageWolf. Well, has been doing really good, especially at the start of the set, but now further we've progressed, it's kind of like RageWolf has come online more and more, and this is kind of like the epitome, the tip of the iceberg at the moment, or perhaps we're planting a flagpole on top of that, or starting to build a tower and go even further. But I guess RageWolf doesn't have to go very far, because this is it, that's the conversion that's gonna take it. And RageWolf, from a set that started extremely even, RageWolf even being behind at the start, able to start snowballing towards the end during a moment when it matters the most for FT7 format, able to overcome it with in a really fancy set here between characters that you don't necessarily see very often, especially Zato. That's why it's so beautiful to see this character. Good stuff, well as well. Thank you so much for the extremely entertaining game. Rare treat indeed. Alright, I think Civ should probably be ready to go, so I'm not sure what character combination Sabino and Civ settled on, but I'm pretty sure that Sabino is still going to be playing Sin. I mean, Civ has an option to play Sin as well, but I think to sort of level the playing field, maybe not playing Sin. I guess it's going to be a surprise. Okay, Elfold is the character pick here. Okay.
Let me fix Civ in the scoreboards as well. Let me quickly check if we have the right infos. Check this. And put it here quick. Okay. That should be good. Oh, there's still a little bit of back and forth per what character should be picked. It's an interesting conundrum because to sort of determine what character would be best suited for this matchup, like skill tier wise, the two players did play some games already, so we sort of have preliminary results from how the games went. So the offer from Civ was because they did get they sort of won the whatchamacallit, the preliminary set. They were offering to go in on a different character. Sabino said, "No way, we'll do it like this. Hit me." So it's gonna be Sin versus Elfelt. A matchup wave or Alpha? Yeah, okay. Switching to the right character. A matchup we've seen on Bounty Hunters quite a few times as of recent. And it is an interesting one. Usually the range advantage is slightly on Sin's side. The mobility advantage is slightly on Elfelt's side. And then we're trying to sort of figure out what's what, who's who, and where on the screen the opponent is starting with a 2 heavy, a very comitative normal, but I think it is faster than Elk startup. So there are a couple of different sequences that 2 heavy will actually beat for Elfelt. Ooh, get hit by the meaty 6K and close slash as well. That looked a little weird. Well, I wonder if there was like a disconnection there or like a desync. Yeah, that's kind of what it looked like. After that loading screen, I was like, would Civ just take the meaties there twice in a row? Yeah, it looks like a desync. So let's just sandbag out of the game and try this again. Recently, when connection problems like this surface, they tend to replicate over a period of time. So I'm a little worried here if this would just occur again. Yeah, allegedly it was okay a while ago, but we also exactly same level, 779. Yo, first time on Bounty Hunters, matching the levels. Damn, that's kind of cool. Anyway, this doesn't seem to be working. This is exactly the same problem that we have had like 10 other times or 20 other times before, and there's like some weird solution where you like go into what was it? I think it was Alternate who described it for the first time. You got kind of go back to like the park and play against somebody else, then come back and then your connection is going to be working again or something weird like that. God, I wish the netcode in this game is so good, but the internet infrastructure is weird as fuck. What was the solution for this again? There's also like an alternative solution where we take a break and we need to let time pass for how long was it? Certain amount of time has to pass and then it magically works again.
Yeah, a 15-minute bug. I think that's what it is. 15-minute bug. which we could definitely do. Let's see. If we do that, I think the next one would be Rygand versus Kitty. So let me ask the heroes of the hour if Thunder, Kitty, and Rygand are actually ready to play before this one. God, Guilty Gear Strive. I do hope I don't have to host more events on a fighting game in the future that is as fucked up as Guilty Gear Strive. Yeah, we have Kitty ready to go, definitely. We do have Rygand in the lobby, and I think Kitty is online as well. So we could do a quick switcherino in this one, then do this one. Probably gonna take more than 15 minutes, hopefully, and then then Civ and Sabino are ready to play again after that. All right, that seems like it's gonna be the plan. Love when the plan comes together in a clusterfuck situation like this. Ugh. I mean, honestly, if it wasn't for Guilty Gear Strive, we probably wouldn't have this. Like, we're not even that scuffed. What I'm trying to say, it ain't my fault. I'm doing, all things considered, I'm doing fairly clean work here. It's this goddamn game that throws wrench into all of my plans, brings the most insane kind of internet glitches, internet architecture glitches I've ever seen in a fighting game, and manages to produce them over and over. Okay, that's my rant of the day. We're gonna hop into this one, Rygand versus Kitty. Now, as you might recall, we've had Rygand recently on that Sin, which is the plan, I think, is try to get this character on a very high skill level before Head Stomper. I forgot when is Head Stomper again? What's the time limit here? Try to get an alleged top tier character to a very high skill level, maybe even higher than Rygand's current main character, and then participate in the tournament and have kind of like a switcherino option. We could play Sin, we could play Mei, perhaps picking character per matchup. Tonight it is gonna be Johnny though. And Thunder, Kitty, Johnny as well. Now, as far as I think Rygand has been pretty busy recently with the last sprint of trying to finish school for the year, or for the academic year before summer vacation. So we'll see how much Rygand has been able to grind, how much of this matchup Rygand has been able to internalize. This might be one of the matchups that Rygand hasn't played too much yet, and it is a matchup for sure. Let me switch the names as well. Get Rygand and Kitty in here. There we go. Starting with the 6K backdash into. There's definitely gonna be a lot of action happening when one of the characters gets in close range. Got the bluff with the deal, and now here it comes, the TK Mistfinder. The public enemy number one when the card is on the ground. Ooh, but Rygand finds a DP out of there, and now the tables turn very easily. 2 bars of stamina. Ooh, unfortunate. slow start to the matchup, misses the clean hit TP, which would have been basically a win condition for Rygand. Now, having to work with no stamina whatsoever, going through the wall, but at least it's a soft knockdown. Very soft amount of health as well, though, for Rygand. Getting a deal. Ooh, and a nice punish there on the landing. That was really smart for Kitty to take a step back and basically put yourself in a position where the jump D can't hurt you. The jump D's active range is like when you're above the opponent, kind of like that. But of course, it is a dive kick that comes down with hurt box first. So if the opponent can anti-air, and Johnny is one of those characters with the guard close slash. Ooh, nice interception. That was with the jump P though. Ooh, baiting the the burst as well with the RC. Kitty fumbling a little, firing the Mistfinder as well. Looking like going back to neutral for a moment. Here comes the close slash punish. Kitty with really good reads, a little bit of shakiness, but I mean, maybe it doesn't matter if you keep getting those reads right every single time over and over again. Good things will happen. And Kitty is definitely, I would say, if there is a read-based character, or sorry, read-based player, Kitty likes to read a lot of things, I think. Especially a very avid hunter of the burst, so you're probably gonna see Kitty trying to get the burst baits. Maybe more. What? Crossing over to the corner? Okay, but we're getting a back throw for her troubles as well. FD does good work. The TK Mistfinder misses. And positioning into a really good spot. See, here's a tricky thing. Sin can't really utilize like the defensive advantages that he has when Johnny plays. Oh, what happened here? Hello? I think Rygand was also like pretty much as bamboozled as I was, so forgot to cancel into anything there. We've got a hard knockdown here. Johnny has 50 meters, so options are available doing that defensive air backdash jump heavy, which does defend your airspace quite well. Now, did Kitty hit a button? No, she did not, but we have 100 meter in the tank, and maybe even wild assault. Tick throw, 2k into that throw is gonna be the icing on the cake for that round. Yep, 6p. One of the necessary evils that you have to reach for if you want to beat the round start against Johnny. I think 6p and maybe Elk Hunt are the only ones that can challenge Par Slash, 9-frame Par Slash from Johnny. Spend the stamina, and this time we get it. That's the cleanest of hits, and half of your opponent's life is gone, just like that. Magic Man, Rygand. With a magic character. Ooh, but outside of the RC range, I think could have gone for Wild Assault conversion instead, but it's in the heat of the moment. It's kind of hard to determine if you want to special cancel or if you want to go for the Wild Assault instead. 2k tick once again, and looking for one more. That should be it. Enough. Even if you get the most unclean of sequences, Kitty is so low, and getting hit airborne out of that backdash, I think it was. As long as you have that stamina to spend, should be a clean downzo deal. 1-1. Looked like a little shaky first game for Rygand, but we're slowly starting up.
Duel 1.
Rev up the engines, rev up the beak driver. Jump over, get the 2S hit. Yep. That would have been really close if you can get a wall break from that, even if you spend 3 stamina, but maybe, like, if you're gonna burst anyway, might as well burst very early. Although, there are some considerations for letting Sin spend stamina, right? Because you can trade a little bit of your life for Sin spending like 2 or sometimes even 3 stamina. Then you can burst, and then you can be like, alright, there ain't gonna be those 2 stamina conversions anymore. Oh, that's nutty! To the other side, and then the turn-up hitbox is what gets them. God, Johnny is such a nutty character. Let's see if Rygand gets to use that 100 meter RTL. Yep, should cleave that 2k, right? Yep. And no opportunity to use the 4th hit. We're a little too close to the wall. But doesn't matter. That means we can go to the next screen with a hard knockdown and spend the meter as we desire afterwards. And because you are on positive bonus, the more meter you already have in the tank in Pobo, it gets nutty. It gets really, really nutty when you start a pressure sequence like that. Right, just a simple far slash which Kitty dashes into. He comes a DP overhead, has to be cancelled. No stamina in the tank. No good clean up, no clean Oki either when you don't have the stamina to spend from the DP. With 6B, knock them down, deal. Yeah, especially from those far-range deal Mistfinder situations, Sin can't really utilize his world-class DP that much because it just doesn't reach. But to compensate, Sin has a tool called RTL. Kisk family spin. Oh, goes under the Mistfinder. However, doesn't quite get there. Oh, that's a big one. And that should finish it. Yeah, RTL is a tool that you can try to get some value if the opponent generally tries to set up their card setup and then cleave you with a Mistfinder from like half screen away or like 4 or 5 character lengths away. If they don't have meter to drift RC, your RTL is gonna beat that if they commit. So you do have some unique options for the Hungry Boy for fighting some of those Oki setups that many other characters just can't do anything about. Trying to start with an Elk Hunt this time. Kitty with the right option to S, cleaves the ground. Stops the Elk, and with a big combo, set them in the corner, the overhead. From the air sequence from the Mistfinder. Looks so funny when it's like an upward slash, and you think like maybe Johnny is grounded already, but no, it's still an overhead. Yep, there it is again, and ready to fire the Joker trick. No difficult combos needed, just end it right there. Ooh, clean air throw, set them on the ground. This is, yeah, you know, this distance might be a little dubious. Ooh, but the double jump, that's definitely one way to evade the DP as well. It's really rare to be able to position yourself in a place where Sin DP can't get you vertically. It is a very, very high and... I mean, the hitbox is great in all directions, honestly. We got the deal, however, oh, but Rygand connects the normal a little too high in the air. That's, again, the Kisk family curse. Very hard to get plus frames with those shallow hitting buttons. And Kitty evens it up 2-2. Right, we have gotten data, a little bit of data to start working with. Know what the opponent likes to do a bit. Oh, gold burst here. That's definitely an option if you want to try the reversal out of the 2 stamina guard crush. If you're a character that doesn't have a DP, then you can naturally create a DP of your own with that gold burst. Yeah, a little bit too close. In those kind of situations, Johnny will have to act as if, you know, you didn't have any sort of advantage on your Oki setup if you're going that close. Doesn't seem to worry Kitty too much. We're bulldozing through from that close distance pressure. But now Rygand, with the optimal combo, can definitely break from round start with 2 stamina as well. Cleanly like so. Starting with the close slash, good delayed deflate shield, pushes Rygand away. How much meter? Oh, we didn't quite have the 100, so that's gonna be a punish. And Kitty on the same layer knows the punish against RTL. Very, very important kind of versus Sin matchup knowledge that you gotta have so that the opponent doesn't run away with too much of a lead. Was that drift backwards straight away without a backdash, or was that a backdash into a drift? Either way, Sin 6K has some really nutty range. 6B was a little too late. Rygand pushing forward, saving that 1 stamina, which will be spent here for the hard knockdown. Tap them, and because we were able to build, this is how it flows. You had so little stamina, but that stamina burning puts you at 50 meter, and then you're like, all right, then we go for the 20 frame overhead. Ooh, but that's not a hit. The jump knee for Sin is a little hard to hit confirm. And the 5P anti-air here for Kitty. It's pretty much like any hitbox you put out there should be able to beat Sin out of that jump knee as long as your timing is okay. And Kitty tried to go for a go for a 10-frame safe jump there. The thing is, this boy has a 9-framer, so that is not a real safe jump if you commit to it. And Rygand knew. It can be a little dangerous sometimes if you're not, like, if you don't know the frame data of your opponents. Like, for example, hard knockdown, wall break, safe jump situations. You're like, all right, does my 9-framer work here? What if I have 10-framer? And the 9-frame and the 10-frame difference is what makes it or breaks it here. And I think it's really hard to fake as well, because, like,
Duel 1. Let's rock.
if you hit any kind of button, you're gonna go into landing recovery, and then, like, by definition, the 9-frame Hawkbaker is gonna get you. Alright, we got the deal, we got the distance, we got the guard break, and now we maul! Johnny Spondy style. Positive bonus is a soft knockdown, so Rygand. Ooh, that was very brave, dealing straight from the knockdown. Even though that is an extended round start distance, that is still. Kitty was basically saying, I think you're gonna backdash, right? Or just stand still without doing anything. But that ain't what that ain't what we do in the School of Sin, right? Ah, here we go, the classic. Bolt deal PRC, one of the tools to beat. This time the 6P is early enough. Previously, Rygand was able to do that instant air dash and land before the 6P even went online, but this time it was on point. Now Rygand spending all the juice. The 2K actually misses, interesting. Must have been a pixel spacing issue there. Looked like the timing was okay. The combo goes on. We said it another one. Broke the bar. Broke the guard. Hello, English. Soft knockdown again. So there's quite a lot of different things that could happen. / trading into the 2S of Johnny's. That was smart. If you try to reversal throw the air, there, try to make sure that you at least have the 50 meter to option select. The PRC option select, saving Kitty's life. As Rygand went for the shimmy. That is sort of frustrating. You're kind of like, all right, I read your throw and I shimmy you. I commit to completely aborting my pressure sequence. Especially since in Guilty Gear Strive or Guilty Gear games in general, I guess in Guilty Gear Strive, like you don't really have, like, it's really hard to do a walk back shimmy a lot of the time because of how movement works here. So you do like an instant air backdash shimmy or a backdash shimmy, and you're like, all right, I committed into it, you threw, and then they option selected it. With a BMB combo. Ooh, we're taking it to the wall. Ah, but the little bit of a gap there. Kitty being able to throw through that. Another one, we get the deal. But this is vulnerable to reversals, and Rygand knows the sequence. Get a really close range RTL hit. You can immediately switch ways and put the opponent through the wall. Ooh, interesting. I'm not sure if that was a miss on the meaty or a frame kill, but Rygand definitely working with it. And because Rygand showed that 6K missing earlier to Kitty, maybe Kitty thought that, okay, it's maybe gonna miss again and trying her luck, but no luck this time because Rygand is on the dot, on the frame, hitting that meaty like, ooh, that's clean. Not sure if Kitty just committed to that or if that was a read, or sorry, if that was a reaction. But that is exactly what you want to try to do against Elk as a lot of the time. Yep, 6P. If there's a gap between those big cancel, 6P can definitely go in between. Rygand with the momentum burst, got them in the air. In that kind of situation, you probably don't even need the RC, but again, it's because of the pace of the match, it's kind of hard to determine if you would need it or not. OTG doesn't even need it. We can spend the RC and end the round right here. Get the leading position back. Been quite the back-to-back match so far, but I think it's it's mostly been Kitty being the one getting the first advantage point for the most part. I guess it doesn't even matter. It's been so close so far, so let's just check how it develops from here on out. Deal, yep. Committing into, if you go close, you can get some better value from your Oki, but the closer you get this in, the more you're in the danger zone against that Hawkbaker. And of course, nobody wants to block that guard crash shenanigan. If you can, like RPS your way out of it with a DP instead, of course you will. Of course you will. It's one of the most fucked up guard crush situations in the game after all. Ooh, footsies with the 2S, and then the hit confirm in the super Churara style. And we have that available as well, but... Oh, wait a second. How did that miss? Anyway, into the next special move. Maybe out of stamina, but never out of options as long as we have tension or... Ooh, that's a counter hit! Kitty doesn't want to go through the wall just yet. Rygand pressing forward, seeing that deal, doesn't want to get stuck in the minefield of that turn up if possible. Oof. Both players just holding it up to the throw. Ooh, missed the throw combo, but we are still in a good pressure position. We have the stamina. Unfortunately, we didn't build this tension. It was so close. But now, Kitty again just deals. She's crazy. I mean, I'm probably gonna be hitting / in that situation very often as well, or hitting Elk Hunt, or taking a micro step back and hitting / and that should still hit that deal, right? That is a hard read that Kitty has been going for. I mean, if your opponent hesitates, it is massive value. Getting that turn up option, that little bit, that little mine onto the field, it's big, but it's risky. It is really risky. Ooh, tried to go for the double forward dash, but Rygand had a 2S active. That is kind of exactly what you have to do. It's... The deal with Johnny's forward dash is that the one dash into button, such as like 2S, is, what is it? It's like 19 frames, something like 20 frames. Basically, it is unreactable though. But if you do it with 2 dashes, it starts being on the verge of maybe your opponent is reacting with a button, maybe. And with a clean hit again. Kitty with 50 meter in the tank and also a deflect shield option. We just slide in there, throw, and Rygand was probably options. No, actually, it was not option selected because he did not have the stamina. The tension there. Kitty starts strong. Rygand doesn't want to go through the wall. Double jump to the other side. Ooh, any other button than 5P would have probably hit Rygand on the landing. But hey, it's kind of a little bit of an RPS situation. Depending on what you want to be hitting. I guess Johnny could just hit S, right? If it's / it's good. If it's close / it's even better. And Kitty trying to come back from the two game deficit here. Deal, yeah, this is the kind of situation where you can deal safely. An interception, yep. Has seen that Rygand has been surprisingly, like, of course there is the sort of, whatchamacallit, the signature but hold that thought, we got a burst here. Rygand not ready to go down just like that. Unload the DP, perfect spacing completely. The disjoint actually not extending into Thunder Kitty's 6P. And here we go. Kitty, lots of resources. If we can get out of this situation without spending resources, I guess we would have to though. Yeah, positive bonus, and the opponent is basically a rushdown equivalent character. In those kind of situations, you kinda, like, you're kinda crazy if you don't start burning your universal resources. At least like YRC, you absolutely have to get the opponent off of you when that positive bonus is ticking. Because they're gonna be getting so many resources back, and like the pressure ain't gonna end anytime soon. And you're probably gonna be guessing here and there in between. So it's no matter which character you are, or what character you are, it's a win condition for basically anybody. Ooh, that elk miss was actually a setup for the close slash counter hit. And again, the Churara hit confirmed. Unfortunately, I think from that position, even if you get a clean hit, it ain't gonna break the wall. But oh wait, did Rygand not have the stamina to spend there for the big 2, which would have been enough? Maybe he actually did not. Now Kitty with an opportunity to run it back. We have the stamina as well. Take it. Ooh, but we can't trade. Unfortunate. Would have been an okay trade. I guess neutral-ish trade otherwise. But now Rygand set point. Into yep. This way we can get a safe jump. If it's a wall break, not so much. But from normal knockdowns, I think Johnny has like standard. Ooh, counter hit. Into barrel or a rave. It looks like it's gonna be a rave, but now so many resources for Kitty. Yep, spent the 50 PRC. We're out of there. Let's see if Rygand wants to try to. Oh, that was a little bit of a mistake here. Was probably not looking at Rygand's resources. Rygand did not have a cancel there whatsoever after the special move, so Kitty fired the burst, but it's not a donezo deal yet. Danger, would like to cleave Mistfighter into the card, but the Mistfighter is nowhere to be found, and unless Rygand drops, of course he doesn't. Of course he does not. Rygand, 7-3 against Kitty's Johnny. He is looking strong. That hit stomper is on the horizon, and Rygand looking to show the world what a character switch to a really prominent character can do. The way is only up from here on out. The fundamentals are locked and loaded. Okay, so now we take a step back to. I mean, I'm not sure if there's even a point to showing this cards, because like, I guess Sabino is gonna be there, so like it works out. Okay, so another try on this one. So that would mean, where are we on our schedule? Let me get the master schedule. So we have Zikr versus koolmees. We have BlackRaven versus Daugion random. And then we have this one. So 3 more to go. Oh, was there a development where Sib was lied? Like Civ say that she can't play anymore, or? Sorry, I'm trying to browse the chat and see the latest developments. Okay, so. Oh, right. But we didn't play Lamp and Toprak either yet. That's the one matchup we're missing as well. Gosh, sorry. It's a chaotic evening. We're everywhere on the schedule. But yeah, I think I saw Toprak saying that they are indeed back, so we could. Yeah, let's play Lamp versus Toprak next. Okay.
Okay, so that means, because I miscounted, even if Civ's and Sabino's match is not happening, we still have 3. Because we skipped past Lamprella versus Toprak. Okay. So it's still gonna be a six match shop card. God, it feels like we've been playing for ages though. There have been some really good matches tonight. A lot of matches have been super even. I mean, even already the first matchup of the evening took so much juice out of me. It feels like we've been here for like a day already. Damn. Yeah, but let's bring out the card. The card. Here we go. This one. So Ramlethal versus Slayer. 2 very different but very dangerous characters. Ram, we all know the lockdown that you have with the new sword tosses. And then Slayer. Slayer is kind of like shooting shit at neutral. Once you get close, we're brawling it out, trying to overwhelm the opponent with the sheer amount of options that could happen. Kind of hard to react to. Sometimes you just have to do fuzzy mashes to commit to some sort of defense. There are some things that you can react to, such as like Master's Hammer, you can throw on reaction, or I guess technically you can react to P Dandy Step cross into Pile Bunker, which is like around 20 frame cross up, if you're just looking for that and nothing else. But yeah, it's defending against Slayer ain't the easiest thing. And to top it off, if you get hit, this is probably one of the most proficient characters in the game for just deleting your life bar, just like that.
Duel 1.
Alright, let's see how it's gonna happen. Oh, counter hit! You know how it's gonna go. Lots of damage. Didn't quite get the wall break there, but half of the opponent's life gone already. And is this the other half? Ow, that hurts so much. At least we get to guess one more time. But we're gonna have to guess really well, because in that situation, we were talking about that positive bonus before. Unless you're willing to throw resources against that, it's really hard to get out of it. Alright, there's a jump out of Master's Hammer. Another thing that you can definitely do, unless you want to try to just go for the reaction throw on the landing on the Master's Hammer. Which is funny, it's like you're throwing an airborne move, but that's kind of how it ends up working. Oh, cross up for the sword explosion. And Lamp still has 50 meter ready to go. And one more sword, frame trap into 6 and a big counter hit. You bet your ass that's gonna be a kill. Yep, I mean, both of these characters delete each other very, very fast. Missing with the far slash, coming down with that button, the button to beat, one of the air buttons of all time, jump heavy from Ramlethal. In this kind of situation, when you wanna land a little bit faster, you would use a softer button, such as like the jump K Lamp used. Ooh, just was probably looking for a YRC or something. Oh, more the bottom is successful here against the Master's Hammer. Lock them down. This time, no cross up, just goes with the low. And because you're basically in a guard crush there, you have to be holding down back if the opponent is 2K'ing you as well. And that's kind of the black beat number here. I guess purple beat? I'm not sure what they call it in the Strive community. When you basically get hit during guard crush because you try to rely on auto guard, but there is no auto guard for guard crushes. God, I love Strive. Speaking of the guard crushes, hitting a pile bunker like that might have actually been plus frames for Toprak for all I know. Lamp will have to work like a precision surgeon here to not get hit even once. Plus 10 though, immediate reversal, and Toprak was waiting for it. It's really ballsy trying to reversal out of that plus 10 guard crush of the YRC, because I think every character in the game can just
unless you're really far away, can hold you still, airtight, and basically get you churning your reversal super, your DP, your backdash, anything. None of that will be able to come up. Again, another good jump back there, tagging the Master's Hammer on the landing. Lamp hasn't been resetted by that move even once. That's excellent. Was looking for YRC, got blue RC, maybe even better. All right, I take slowed down frames for the opponent and slap them with my close slash or other equivalent starter buttons. Ooh. Speaking of equivalent buttons, that's one of the downsides of Slayer's combos. They deal crazy amount of damage, but they bounce you back and forth, so they can momentarily put you in the corner, which opens up the opportunity for the opponent to burst you into that corner. Which is exactly what Lamp did here. Reversal out, switch positions, spend some resources, and take the wall break. Now Lamp will still have to actually. This is a disadvantaged position for Lamp. 100-meter Slayer at equal life. Yeah, here's the burst, but the reversal comes out immediately as well. I think that's one of the more. Ooh, but hold that thought. 6 heavy counter hits. I mean, getting out of the jail for surprisingly low amount of life. I mean, but when you only take when you only take 1/3 of your life bar, I think it can be considered a cheap combo in Slayer standards, right? Wait, the jump heavy hitting from backside. All right, of course, Gildegear, of course, Ishiwatari. Look at the sword toss cross up once again. 2. Ooh, was probably trying to set up a meaty 2K, but maybe a little late here. Unsure. Shoot the sword. But the opponent too far. We can't follow it up. Shoot the short again. However, smartly, Toprak going for the double jump until the explosion has been diffused. Trying to instant air dash jump slash. Or is that jump slash or jump K? I forgot. I think that's that's jump slash. Should know from the older games already. The funny cartwheel driving a bicycle kick that the old jump slash used to be has come back in Gildegear's stride. Goddamn, love old fighting games. The far slash is slower than 10 frames, so you can definitely churn a reversal there in that gap. First time getting a Master's Hammer and already getting big value out of it. I mean, it's plus 20 something. So, like, how many more plus frames can you get in a fighting game? Kind of a situation. Slayer, one of the nastiest characters, producing so much that you can actually dash back and forth around the opponent a couple of times. I forgot if you can at least dash through once. But I forgot if you can dash through one more time and it's still like a meaty close slash situation. I think so. Would need a specialist Slayer's opinion on that one. What do you mean I don't know Slayer's frame data well enough? What do you mean that's why I lose to Slayer, huh? Shit. I should go to Dust Loop after this. Oh, that still wall breaks? Okay. Is that hard to do? I think, isn't that's the combo that they've been talking about, right? QK says, as if appearing that there is some sort of knowledge here of this character. So toss, we are in a guard crush, still got the jump off, so we'll be able to protect himself against the throw, and now we're launching again. This will equalize, positive bonus, hard knockdown, what do? Seize the Mortabato, we can cancel, yep, 100, it costs a lot, but maybe it's worth it because that Slayer was mighty low health looking there. One sword toss and any kind of mix-up is gonna be good. Ooh, close slash, we're gonna take that yummy starter. The windshield wiper, getting wall stick as well. Trying to dash forward, however, far slash starting fast enough. We cancel into the super, and here we go again. All around the world, how many screens can you go through? I guess usually not that many, because the damage in Guilty Gear Strive is rather high, especially with that positive bonus that increases your already high enough damage with another 10% or so.
Duel 1.
Even a short sequence into a super is gonna do quite a bit of damage for many characters. Ooh, that was a clean surgical jump in. And now, Master's Hammer misses, paying the consequences for that. Trying to side switch, Lamp doesn't really get the cleanest of side switches, but then able to still secure the situation. And now, crush them again. Such a nice feature that the swords do come back after, like, basically any sort of wall break, even if it's a soft one. Ooh, immediate burst on that wire, see? And then, hold them down. Yep, the lockdown is the name of the game for this character, Ramlethal. It is really the sort of design philosophy, because like they wanted to make this installment of Guilty Gear a little bit more pilotable for like newer characters. So there is a lot of stuff where you get to do fun stuff like this, like set play, where the opponent can't interact that much. I mean, some characters have more interactivity, but then there are these set play characters' dreams, such as Ramlethal, where you get 2 opportunities to lock them down and try to mix them up while they're trying to hold on to their dear life. Ooh, I think could have gotten a close slash punish, but maybe Lamp chose to just take this punish as a throw because the opponent had a burst. There's the burst. Don't have to worry about that anymore. And with this 100 and a positive bonus, what can we do? We can do so many things. We can hard knock down, and now Toprak will have to burn meter. Yep. Ooh, here's the beautiful thing about fighting games though. Toprak knows he has to wire Z, otherwise it's done. But Lamprella knows that Toprak knows. So we bait that wire C. God, I love fighting games. Into the corner. Yeah, the OTG. Not OTG, but I guess kind of an OTG blue burst gets out of there. But now we're in the other corner again. The Master's Hammer just not getting too much value. We've gotten 1 Master's Hammer hammered in this set. Got a lot of value for it, but Lamprella has been up backing out of that Master's Hammer quite a bit. And now over the head, break the wall immediately. Even this amount of tension is very, very deadly in positive bonus. Has the burst? Yep. Again, Lamprella knew that the burst has to come out. If Toprak delays that even 1 hit, it's super time. And then it's too late.
Duel 1.
But I mean, you don't want to be a Garfield. You don't want to die with that burst either. It's the worst feeling in the world when you're like, I could have done... Ooh! 3rd time is the charm. Probably a good burst. We don't want to get... We don't... Even though that doesn't like... I guess it's equivalent to a wall break, so we don't want that to happen. Jump on the command grab. However, chasing with the 6 heavy. That 6 heavy, the Vampire Slayer 6 heavy has been one of the buttons of all time to bring the opponent back to the ground when they're trying to up back from your pressure. Smack them with the leggy. The leggy, it's so high up. Right now, the tide turns. Was that P map? Was that plus? Looks like it was plus for Slayer, but I'm hesitant to believe. Ooh, the sword is coming, so Lamp doesn't really have to do much other than maybe stay ready for the potential RC that Toprak could have done from the dandy step, maybe. Wire C, yep, pretty good option here to prevent the lockdown from going on. Lamp had another sword after all. So get out of there as soon as you can. Do whatever you can, so that you don't have to guess for 1 more mix-up on the sword just lockdown. Starting with a close slash, extending, trying to build those resources. In a way, this is kind of like a resource management character as well, because those swords are sort of resources that regenerate over time. So you could think of Ram having like
depending on if you consider your life as a resource, then you have like 3 or 4 resources too. So yeah, I guess qualifies as a resource management character of sorts. And again, a close slash 6 heavy. There seems to be at least a little bit of a gap between those hits, which has been counter hitting Toprak fairly often. Ooh, ready for that? Got even the back hitting pile bunker initially there, and you know what time it is. 4th on the count, and enough damage to actually kill there. I mean, that's it. I'm not surprised because mental stack is kind of a all you know, the focusing the focused idea of Slayer's pressure. So maybe you're looking for other things and then you get bam hit by that fully charged 5D. This would be a kill, right? Oh no, unless Toprak misses. Ah, we still get in there. Far slash, counter hit, far slash, another one. And even 4-4. It was looking like lamprella was running away with the lead for a little while, but all the storylines of this evening have been written to be extremely close matches. So of course Lamp is not gonna finish it right here. We have more games to play. All right, 1, 2, 3. We have one more sword for the upcoming pressure situation. Trying to stagger, was probably looking for that wire C. In best case scenario, frame trap into the 2 heavy. That works as well. Those heavy button frame traps have been serving Lamp so well in this matchup so far. And a clean whiff punish. Take a couple of walks back, a couple of steps backward. Make them whiff their follow-up. And you know how much potential there is in Ramlethal, far slash, and 5 heavies. Ooh, that 10 frame, sorry, that 20 frame cross up there. Oh, another one. Right, Toprak looking for potentially one more touch. However, that sword toss is so good against Dandy Step, isn't it? Because Dandy Step always moves you backwards a little bit. What is that K Dandy Step? It's a little bit of an OG assessment that Dandy Step always moves you backwards, because P Dandy in fact moves you forwards in this game. Ooh, this time though, mashing through that close slash 6 heavy. Larger Captain 5 frames? No way. Ooh, the windshield wiper misses. Toprak goes for a immediate gold burst, and now 100 meter into tank, or I'm not sure. It doesn't even matter. It was so much damage anyway that Lamp really didn't have the life to spend there to stay alive. And now Toprak, just like that, tables turning,
Mankind knew that they cannot change
inputs churning. What's gonna be the fate of this match from here on out? Starting with the 6 heavy again. That's been one of the go-to buttons for Toprak. I wonder if... Have we seen the interaction between round start sword toss and 6 heavy so far? We go for the far slash this time, then the backwards moving. Ooh, trades into the jump slash. The sword ain't gonna do much from that angle. Ooh, but that angle of the jump heavy is clean. Spend the wild assault to get them through the corner, and this is where your favorite stuff starts happening. Boss frames from the rock. Toprak says, please get me out of here. YRC, anything. The thing with YRC and Ram's pressure is that you have to activate that on non-guard crush moves though. Because guard crush deletes your ability to use YRC, if I recall correctly. Ooh, very great instant air dash. Until it actually didn't produce enough frame advantage. Maybe try to go for a 2 heavy button on the landing. And now, where's the sword toss? Ooh, the force line actually reaches from that distance. And that's gonna be a start of a comeback. Super Mappa Hunch bam. Equalizing life. Wham! But 100 meter on the tank for Lamp. You bet your ass swords are gonna be tossed so... What a cross up. Tried to react to that one. Unsure how fast of a reaction you need, but
is kind of being the 50-50 between dash in and 2K or just overhead cross up with the flip kick afterwards. Oh, tried to go this time, not the 5th time. Lamp has been enlightened, perhaps, not needing that 28 frame launcher anymore. I say that, but I might be cursing her, because like if your 5D charge has been working 4 times out of 5, what's your assessment? Would you go for it again? What are your chances? Lamprella evens it up 5-5, moving on to the championships round here in just a moment after the doggy has been pet. Is he good boy? You're a good boy. Yes, you are.
Mankind knew that they cannot change. Duel 1.
Right, speaking of dogs, who is the underdog here? Seems to be fairly even. Send the swords again. Low is spotted correctly this time around. The dash momentum. Dash chomp does not bring value for Toprak this time. Sword is back as well. Ooh, but the air-to-air hit seems to be much better than the grounded hits. Ooh, good interruption there. Sticks out the leg in 2K. Interrupts the, I think that was a dandy step sequence, and beats the YRC as well. Ooh, no cancel. Doesn't matter. We still get a close slash and 100 meter as well as 2 swords to throw on top of that. So yeah, try to get out of this one. Oh, close slash starter. Damage inbound, spending the wild assault to extend the pressure to the wall. Maybe some sort of a combo mistake there. I think Toprak would have really liked to pressure Lamp towards the corner. Sword is gonna explode. Toprak backs off till that's gone. Rare footage of Master's Hammer actually hitting. Double jump straight into the 5 feet of Lamps. Oh, they're trading blows left and right, but let me tell you, if you trade blows against Slayer, 1 counter hit, 1 life. Looking for an angle to get some sort of opening. That is definitely an opening. That's probably an opening to go to the next screen, if you ask me. Yeah, with a hard kind as well. Half of Slayer's life gone this time. Like, Slayer is not the most defensively oriented character in terms of what he can do, but I think he is still one of the more defensive heavy modifier characters. Working without the sword, so your normals are gonna be a little oh, jump heavy doesn't actually hit on the way out. That is kind of like a teleport slash in a way. Or I mean, there really are no teleport kind of moves in Guilty Gear Strive, but moves just at a really, really fast speed and blazes past you. Through the sword, try to do. That's a lot of resources spent though. If you use the sword toss as well as 50 tension and you don't find the mark, that's usually a big RPS win for the opponent, is it not? But the problem is that Ram still has another one to throw, I guess. And potentially, especially if you're on positive bonus, it ain't gonna take too long for her to build another 50 meter as well. Right, Lamb knocking on the Heaven's Door. A very familiar 6 heavy round start for Toprak. Burst out of the corner, 1 sword only. Throw it. Yup. Try to trade into it, but it's, I guess it's for the most part a fool's errand. You would have to hit the sword toss during like the very start of frames, right? To be able to. Oh, are we dropping combos because of the stutter? Lamp still in an okay position, finds the empty low. Black beat, opponent trying to get out of the gel with an auto guard, but auto guard is disabled for guard crushes. Ooh, okay, that's a surgical strike, far slash on the landing. Into Master's Hammer, Lamp just having none of that Master's Hammer. I don't think I've ever seen anybody jump out of Master's Hammer so consistently. What? There it is! There it is. Toprak is like, yeah, it's. I have the math on my side, but also the footsies. Did you see where that 5D actually hit? That is nutty. Look at that risk. That is cranked. But luckily, off that lamp hit, off that ram hit, off that hit, Lamp has been able to neutralize some of that risk, but not all of it yet. Right. I guess that throw is going to take care of the rest of it. Is there isn't really a wall break here. You just gotta knock down with the Rekka 1, 2, 3. Reads the wires. He missed the punish! Ooh, but no, both swords coming back. And that should be a kill, right? 1, 2, 3. Knock them down. That's game. Once again, going super back-to-back up to those very, very last rounds, but then Lamp, a familiar story when it matters the most. Get 2 in a row. And even if there was some sort of adjustment here for Toprak, unfortunately, it is only FT7. This ain't a casual set. You can't go down like 15 games and then come back and beat the opponent 20 times. Nuh-uh. 7 wins the 7 win is the where the point where it's cut off. But yeah, Lamp cleaning that match up. Jumping out of that Master's Hammer is so good. I get nailed down by that tool so much. And it feels bad when that happens. But Lamp, I'm gonna say, pretty good defense for sure. We got 2 left. Oh, this is actually funny because there is... Because the background of this card is, I think, transparent, so... I could put a different card in there. Whoop. Anyway, so this is gonna be the random match between Raven and Daugion. So how about we bring out our interface? Let me ask the players a couple of things first. Okay, so a little bit of preface here. This is random select match. Both players are randoming. Our little unique thing for bounty hunters. What we have here on screen is self-evaluated power tiers for both players. Oh, let me check. Has there been changes for Daugion's tiers, or is it same still? I think it's for the most part same. Yeah. Okay. So what was I saying? Yeah, on the screen you have the... Actually, let's do this first. So we have... First random for a Raven is gonna be Kai, and this is no duplicates random, so we remove. Let me explain that in a sec. And then let's get a character for Daugion. Trying to do this as time efficiently as possible. I think Giovanna is gonna be the pick. Alright, so this is basically the no duplicates random wheel. So whenever you get a character, that character gets removed from the pool, so you can't random it into it again. On the screen, you have the self-evaluated tiers, power tiers for Raven and Daugion, which will indicate how strong they think they are at piloting those characters. So for example, Kai, which Raven randomed into, is... where is it? Around the... what's that?
in the okay-ish tier, kind of like the mid tier, and for Daugion, Giovanna would be pretty okay. So what you kind of want to have your character pool represent is there's a couple of things, a couple of ways you could go about this, right? So you could try to random in, if you have like a couple of super good characters, maybe like 5-6 characters that you can pilot really well, try to like target those, or you could try to minimize the amount of characters that you are really bad at piloting. I think overall, so the players do have different amount of tiers here, but if you sort of combine the bottom and the second bottom tier for Raven, those would kind of represent the I'm really bad at these characters tier. Which is like around the same amount of characters as Daugion has there. Dog has a decent amount of characters in the very mid tier. I feel like the spread of characters on the power tiers is rather even. So I would say, on a quick glance, I think as far as variance is concerned, as far as RNG is concerned, I think both players are gonna have like a decent, as decent of a chance to random into like a characters that they think they're gonna be decent at piloting. Now, that is not to say that if one character rolls into a quotation strong character and the other one rolls into a weak character, it's still, these are randoms, and these players don't necessarily play some of these characters very often. Might just have like a gut feeling, have played maybe this character for 2 weeks. It's not as easy to evaluate like what is the sort of the outcome is gonna be like simply based on the power tiers. But I mean, it's fun speculation material. Taking the blast frames with the flip kick. As soon as the electricity is applied, we still have the chance. Here comes, ooh, hit the instant air dash button, but no follow-up on the ground. Electrify them again. Ooh, we are in strike throw, but getting throw ourselves. Both players getting thrown back and forth, missing the flip kick, and then trading successfully. Daugion with the with the bigger life bar. Will happily take that trade. Stun Dipper, that's a big commitment. Should sort of ring alarm bells in, or actually, sorry, Daugion is on the left. Sorry, I'm mixing myself up. There we go, that's the right direction. So BlackRaven is playing Kai here. Sorry about that. Yep, that's a reaction. You see the Shavi, and you think the Guard Crush is coming. Actually, it's not Guard Crush anymore, but it's still +6, so massive plus frames. You can definitely kind of react to that and rev up the DP if you know about that interaction. And even if it's not a character you play very often, that is universal information that you've gained from playing your main as well. The tricky thing is, though, even if a lot of the things are, overshooting with the dash step, far slash, going to a completely wrong direction. Electrify again, here comes Daugion with the snipe. Evening it 1 round each, both players with a full, yeah, spiral arrow has the added feature of going through most fireballs as well. So we'll be easily able to power through the heavy fireball from Kai as well, I believe. Well, this is gonna be a little confusing because I have the... Ooh, that's a big commitment. Raven dashing in with the DP, missing. Daugion getting a decent punish for his troubles, and finishes it with an up dog. As I was about to say, I should also switch the rules of the... Let me do that quick. So switch the rules of the lobby. Put this on winner stays. Okay. Sorry about that. And then go back to a random in. So Raven is gonna get Unji, it looks like. And Daugion is gonna be working with, let's see what Lady Luck has sent us today. Unji looks to be in the mid tier for Raven. Happy Chaos for Daugion, a little bit more technical character. Which would be... I started from the bottom, and I immediately lock eyes with that Happy Chaos in that bottom tier. Not feeling confident, understandable. Understandable, very technical character to play for sure. In fact, if you look at the bottom row of Daugion's, for example, there are a lot of really technical and very difficult to play characters in there. So I think Daugion's tier list is like super logical, in a way.
Duel 1. Let's rock.
Alright, let's see what we can do with it though. And I started blasting, and then I was out of concentration, and then I had to work with my normals, which are, granted, Happy Chaos normals, so they aren't too bad. But of course you have to kind of, usually like to follow up your amazing normals is basically taking out the gun, right? So you at least have to have some amount of rhythm if you want your normals to go anywhere. A little bit of miss there, drop the close slash sequence. Trying to air, and the goal, there we go, like a pro! Hitting the massivest, biggest, baddest, hardest hittingest anti-airs known to mankind. Or at least for this character. We started with a dance. Far slash will indeed trigger that dopamine inducing ding! Oh, that's a good hit as well. Even though that was just a quick 2-3 hit combo, still deals quite a bit of damage. And when you are sort of on the meta of these, oh, at least Daugion knows how to do the steady shots a little at least. Far slash into basic 1-2-3, Hoojin KD. However, getting back thrown in the corner. Reaches them with a far slash into a decent combo. Honestly, I think it doesn't bother you probably that much if you go bust as far as like concentration goes. You just want to milk. Like, if you're not good with this character, you're just trying to milk as much damage out of your combos as possible. I mean, you're just trying to get some sort of value out. Alright, next random. It looks like Raven is gonna go to Leo this round. And then Daugion will land. So where's the Leo? Leo is around mid-low tier. Abba is gonna be the pick for Daugion, which is, let's see, it is on the higher echelon of things. So other than rolling into your main, which you know, for both of these characters is actually Baiken. That would be the jackpot. Basically. But other than that, Daugion has some pretty decent characters here, out of which we're gonna be playing next Abba.
Mankind knew that they cannot change.
So if the tier list is to be trusted, this should be a mauling for Daugion's Abba. However, ooh, got an IB there as well. So very good prospects for punishing. Danzai sort of powers through half of the projectile, but the projectile kind of lingering around Yuklo. Slash for a big anti-air. Both players crossing each other. Oh, I am moving so fast, but not fast enough to shove yourself into BlackRaven's flash kick. With the Danzai again. Gotta be very careful, especially when Abba is in jelly mode. Even if you have one of the best reversals in the game, Leo's flash kick, you can actually power through that with Danzai because it has very extended amount of armor frames. Going in with the standard overhead, very hard to react to. But also looking to be popping, and Raven makes sure that the pop does happen. And this is kind of like the
This is kind of like the holy grail of playing versus ABBA. You always want to make her pop back to neutral with 0 jelly if possible. This could, like, you thought initially that BlackRaven was in a bad situation because it has so little health. Bullshit. It's actually BlackRaven's advantage until you got thrown in the corner. Flash kick still saves you. Cross up with the back berserker slash, and then the overhead. That's gonna be a kill. Yeah. At the moment when you were able to make a Daugion pop with that jelly, I think I was shoving all in on Raven at that point. It's such a huge part of the matchup to just make her be without any resources. She's basically lost her win condition, and she has to struggle for interactions at close range. Although, you know, you are playing a character who kind of wants to go in as well. Uno with punish, especially after that PRC. 1-2, knock them down. No refunding. Oh, I was about to say no coming out of the install, but I spoke too soon. When you come out of the install, you basically refund half of the jelly that you spent during your previous install, so it can be very economic. This will activate as well. Here we go. Are we going with the Danzai? Yes, I knew it! I knew it! You're dead. One is all you need. One good interaction there for Daugion on the Danzai. Opponent relying on the reversal. Really good read here. It's not like, let's put it like this. It's not very free to go for that Danzai either. If you sort of understand the mechanics of ABBA and how long it actually takes to go through that Danzai animation, that spent so much time. So even if it's a really great move, by the way, Johnny for Raven, and then. Yeah, it's a very expensive move in terms of like jealousy cost. Or like your jealousy gauge cost, if you will. Dizzy for Daugion. And let's see, for Raven, Johnny is another like not the most technical but decently technical character. It's around the mid-tier-ish mark. And for Daugion, Dizzy is, yep, at the bottom. Yep, understandable. Very new character as well. If I recall correctly, Daugion has taken a little bit of hiatus from Guilty Gear Strive. So some of the newest DLC characters should probably be outside of his reach for the most part. And Dizzy would probably be one of those. So this, you would think this is a freebie for BlackRaven, but let's see what happens. You can still, I mean, if I randomed into Dizzy and I've never played Dizzy, I would be like, all right, I know Chestnut is kind of good, so probably I'm just gonna try to use that and hope that the opponent shoves themselves into the Chestnut. And if that doesn't work out, then fuck. I guess I'm screwed. With the back throw, this would be a really good place for the Chestnut loop. 6 heavy into, yep, plus frames. However, ooh, still got caught by the ice spike. The Chestnut loop has been nerfed quite severely, now affected by FD pushback, which it was not in the past. Oh, we're going full ham, 100 meter. I'm not sure if you can even punish this. Can you? How many of you have lapped against this super? Yep, that seems to be a punish, especially with Johnny's unique mobility. Take a step dash, take a vault deal. And I mean, spend 50 meter if you're not sure if you got the punish or not. To the other side. Now, Dizzy kind of falls into the same category as Kai and Sin in a way, with the Kisk family curse. Very, very shallow jumping buttons. So every time I see Dizzy airborne, wait, what direction was BlackRaven dealing into? That looked kind of funny. Anyway, it's like every time I see Dizzy in the air, it's so strange because Dizzy used to be one of the best characters in the air in the past, but she's completely reworked for Strive. No longer has the multiple air dashes, and her air buttons are, frankly, not the most, not the best out there for sure.
But I mean, she's definitely has a little bit more control over the neutral. Much more of a zoning-oriented character this time around, I would say. But yeah, as expected, BlackRaven takes that one. Daugion's no experience whatsoever. Dizzy does not. I mean, it was looking pretty okay considering, you know, considering the facts. But of course, it's gonna be like that when you random into a character that you haven't played much. This time it would be Raven's time to show the Dizzy. Which is rather low on the tier list. Not 0 experience, but rather low. Daugion, to fight that, will get... Salt. I would imagine this is like rather high, or at least mid-tier for Daugion. Yes, indeed. It's in the mid-tier, the can-play tier. Many players do have a pocket soul. And I mean, in the past, like, Soul has been much easier character to play in the past, I want to say. Especially after the newest rework, which arguably increased the difficulty of Soul's combos. So like, the modern Soul is a little, I mean, you can still do the gorilla shit, and you can still do the, like, sort of stable conversions, but if you wanna get all the bangs out of your bucks, so to speak, you're gonna have to go for some really tricky routes and try to tinker with that Fafner clean hit property. Ooh, normal, or rather neutral jump shimmy. Doesn't complete the combo though. With RC here, mixing for the high-low. High option this time with the jump B. Good 6. Wait, was that 6B? Was that Dizzy 6B? Dizzy 6B is such a minuscule button, is it not? I think it was some other button that ended up beating the Bandit Bringer there. Ooh, starting with too heavy was that, cleaving the ground and catching the vortex. Interesting. Oh, the DP still hits. Damn. From that angle, in this economy. Cashing for a knockdown. Oh, okay, we're going for more. Going for the wall break. Positive bonus acquired. Meter incoming. Damage boost. Activated. Find the low. Yep. BlackRaven was probably dead there. Let's say go for the burst. Find the low. Momentum burst towards the corner. However, again, a lot of folks tonight have been doing that instant air dash. Press button as soon as possible, then land into a throw. Players trying to shove all of the resources in order to not have to defend against the opponent. Tyrant Ray from this range? Oh, but no! Shoves himself into it. Now BlackRaven. So close, yet so far in the end. Daugion gets it with Soul.
Soul wins.
Once again in the lead, but the wheel is gonna be what ultimately decides the fate of how this matchup shall proceed. Or maybe if you're goated enough, you don't have to rely on your character. You can just say, I can pilot enough characters well enough. Sin for a Raven, which is one of Raven's better characters. This should be good. This should be a good opportunity to strike back and make it 3-3. Johnny will be the pick for Daugion. Wait, did we see Johnny Daugion already? No, we didn't. Okay, so both players randoming into a relatively high power character here, as far as their self-evaluation is concerned. But I have to say, if you don't play these characters on a regular basis, I would conclude that Sin is probably slightly easier to pilot. So we're gonna see if that plays into this character matchup at all. Mistfire going into recovery, going into landing, getting a little bit of a punish here. Daugion has already used the burst here, which means damage is available to be dealt if we can get a good hit.
Close range when you're working with 1 stamina, that's fine. But from far range, you're gonna need 2. And now, BlackRaven escaping the corner. Doing a little bit of a drive-by jump K into. Yep, this combo back surely works. Oh, the ender was a little iffy, but you know, as they say, happy little accidents. We can reset it for. We can reset with whiffing a beak for. Whiffing a hoof for sure. Daugion didn't really get to do much that round, and a good instant air dash read here crushes what is theoretically a fireball function. Mistfire, especially the K Mistfire on the ground. Goes for it again. It is a good fireball for sure. Yeah, BlackRaven smartly trying to hang back as much as possible if that deal goes online. And this round looking much better for Daugion now. Both players loaded a meter. We're gonna use that on. Use it or lose it. We're gonna start using, and Super could be available, or another RC could be available. Hoof, immediate RC. I wonder, because Johnny's reversal super is, I think, relatively slow. I think the way BlackRaven did the Hoof RC did it so fast that could have almost, I think that might have actually baited a reversal super, maybe. Ooh, found the close slash. Do we have the combo? I mean, we can do that path. That path is valid. It spends quite a lot of stamina, but who cares when you can do half of your opponent's life? Straight into the loving embrace of the gambler. Get the super, hard knockdown. Can we work with this? As we recognized in the matchup tonight, Johnny has no safe jump here. Yep, smart. I'm not sure if Daugion actually knew that, but choosing to not engage in that instant air dash jump slash, which is a 10-frame safe jump against Hawkbaker. Interesting side switch there. BlackRaven goes for trying to pick up the combo, but if that is a reversal, it does not grant you a combo, unfortunately. Missing the 5K and taking the L for that. Pretty good Daugion. Yeah, I was trying to wrap up my boy Sin here, being easy to play and everything, but Daugion is like, nah, dog. I can play this character well enough to take out some sins. Bridget is the character next for Raven. That would be in the bottom tier. Uh-oh, Raven. Uh-oh. Kai for Daugion. And where is that character? Should be probably in the middle. Yeah, I was like, if Sol was in the mid for Daugion, Kai is probably gonna follow suit. And lo and behold, right next to one another. This doesn't look good for Raven though. At a very important, potentially turning point of the set, randoming into an absolute garbage tier character as far as your own proficiency to drive the characters is concerned. So Daugion has a pretty decent chance to go to 5 points here. And 5-2. Yeah, you're gonna need some good luck to come out of that one. On top of that, Bridget ain't really plug and play type of character either. She's a set play character. You need to finish your combos to get that set play, and then you need to be able to pull off that set play to get more combos. So it's kind of like a self-feeding loop that just collapses when you don't have some of your, some of the parts of the loop sort of under your control. Whereas Kai is just a footsies man. The king, just swinging a couple of swords, pressuring the corner. That's good knowledge though. Daugion tried to go for the 6K cash out for plus frames, and Raven DPing through that. probably the DP is gonna be one of your go-to tools to try to make RPS happen in a matchup that, or not even a matchup, but on a, oh, wait a second! No experience, yet safe jumping with the rolling movement? Shit, that's pretty good intuitive play, huh? Raven is gonna take this round. Wire C plus frames, deflect shield, push them away. Oh, but that's a big counter hit. Not gonna survive that. Unless 1 hit point. Stop and dash. Send the yo-yo. Ooh, who's still alive? No! Good read from Daugion. Instant air dash against the yo-yo toss. Knew that was probably the best victory condition for BlackRaven, trying to fireball you. Because as you could see, the stop and dash also destroys projectiles from other characters, so should be cleaving most of Kai's fireballs that might be coming at your way. The downside is if you use the aggressive toss, you're not gonna get the extra hit on the way back, which is one of like the most desirable features for Bridget players for using that move. You can do some funky stuff and then still be safe, and or keep your pressure going if your yo-yo is coming back at the exact perfect moment. But as you might imagine, Daugion taking that one against zero experience Bridget. That was actually kind of cool. Safe jumping on a character that is basically like I don't know anything about. Kinda nutty. Unless I don't know that much about Bridget stuff, unless that's just a free safe jump to perform. But I would take a guess it's not. Zato for Raven. And where is that? Not bottom of the bunch, that's for sure. Wait, where is Zato? Huh? It's gonna be Sin for Daugion. Sin is at the mid tier for Daugion, but where is? Oh yeah, it's into. Okay, I see it now. It's in the middle as well. Okay, so around same power level ish characters coming up next, and the time is tick-tock ticking for Raven. We're gonna start to increase the score soon. Now, again, if we evaluate these characters per, like, how easy it is to pilot them, Sin would pretty much always be my, like, this is just the easy character to play. Like, you can learn the basic 2 stamina burn combo in 5 minutes and then just never miss it again, kinda. I mean, there is a one, like, semi-difficult timing when you go from Gazelle step into the linking normal. You can miss that, but I mean, it's not too hard. And if you have that combo route down, you can do combo out of any hit as long as you have 2 stamina. Oh, please! The active frame's extending, hitting the little puppet. But Daugion, or sorry, BlackRaven, with that knowledge of how to deal with Elkant, throwing it on reaction. It's really cool to see this bobbing and weaving of, you know, summoning. Ooh, a little bit of a drive-by jump slash. However, the hit was not the cleanest. Puppet coming back soon. Again, is it a reaction, or is he just dialing into it? I think Raven didn't hit a button here. Yeah. And, yeah, at that point, might as well take the throw punish, which is, I mean, as easy to input as flow slash, but hey, it doesn't really matter at that point. Oh, I was talking so much smack about how easy that 2 stamina conversion is, and then Daugion dropped it. I mean, I guess it's not free unless you do it on a regular basis, but I mean, it's, okay, it's not very hard either, I swear. I say that, and most of the Sin players I've coached have had difficulties doing that combo when they start out. Alright, RTL here. This is a good choice because, like, If you wanted to get Tyrant Barrel, you would have had to microdash, which could be hard if you don't play this character often enough. So just going into RTL eliminates that execution requirement. Here comes another one. Did Raven hit a button? Ooh, wait! I thought I saw someone into a pose. Isn't that supposed to be, doesn't that draw hits from supers as well? Oh, here we go! Damage inbound. This is probably the first combo that you ever learn as Zato. Every Zato player who has a little bit of experience should be able to do this maximum hard hitter if the opponent shoves themselves into your pose. And you start with a 2 heavy. Magic happens. Oh, that was a dirty angle. 6k hits, just at the tip of the range. Overhead, have to cancel. With a basic combo, Daugion has it down. Yes, sir. Biased Sin player cheering for Sin. I mean, honestly, I was pogging about Raven's ability to control the puppet consistently there. That almost got in there as well. Now, did I already put a point in Daugion's account? I forgot. Shit. Chat, help me out. Did I forget? Happy Chaos for Raven. I thought it was 5-2 already. And it should be 6-2 now, right? Looking like Elfold for Daugion. So technical character, Happy Chaos, very low on the tier list of BlackRavens. And then Elfold is around mid tier. Yeah, makes sense. Because Elfold is, I would say Elfold is kind of like high tier for piloting. It's like not too difficult. You gotta learn a couple of things and then you can kind of just have fun with her. I'm gonna say, I'm pretty sure it was 6. I'm pretty sure it was 6, right? It must be 6.
Mankind. Duel 1.
I mean, the players would maybe know or maybe not. We can check after this because there you can check the the records on the screen. All right, with a counter hit, simple 1, 2, 3. Right. Oh, we're resetting a lot. Basically saying, Daugion basically saying, I'm gonna start doing this RPS, and you should try to mash against my Rygand. And that'll prep you up for getting some free hits in the future. Ooh, missing the shot here, and the Bridal Express shoving straight into Happy Chaos's face. Again, this Happy Chaos character, a little hard to control, a little hard to pilot. So understandable if you don't have like patch just hitting normals if you don't have your combos down. Go basic combo 1, 2, 3, extending for the wall break. BlackRaven says no, we're gonna shoot. Homes in on the target. Tries to go for the throw, but a little too early. Still on the in with frames, unfortunately, Daugion was. Get a jump slash, but that's kind of the extent. If you don't know like the rhythm to take out your gun, it's gonna be a little tough to get combos better than like 1, 2, 3 into 2D. And that'll be that. If I have counted correctly, that should be 7 for Daugion, finishing with this Elfelt. Definitely the more simple to pilot character for this character matchup. Let me ascertain that we haven't miscounted. Let's go for the let's go check the records. It is in not that one. Is it player list? No. Room rankings, that's the one. Yep, it is 7. Win count is 7, so Daugion finishing this one with a rather strong performance. I mean, we had a lot of
randoms where both the characters ended up in around the mid-ish tier of the powers. But Daugion just seemed to grasp grasp a couple more of those than Raven. And with that, we would have our last match of the evening available, or ready to be played, which is gonna be an interesting case as well. So Zigra versus koolmees. So I think these guys are buddies, and I'm not exactly sure how the story went, but I think koolmees is clearly the underdog here, but still won the match against Zigra, who is a very strong Asuka player. Definitely one of the stronger Asukas that we have regularly on Bounty Hunters. Very entertaining Asuka player as well. Although I have to say, like, you have to work really hard to not be an entertaining Asuka player, I want to say. Because, like, if you have the basics down, it's really fun to watch Asuka work. Like, no matter what skill tier player you are. So Jacko, Asuka. I kinda, while we're waiting for the players to land on the lobby, I wanna try to take a quick peek to see if we've actually played this character matchup much before on Bounty Hunters. And immediately our records say, yes, Zikra has indeed played versus Munch recently. Took that 7-4. Yeah, I don't think I need any more data than that. So Zikra definitely has the matchup down to a certain extent, and has proved that he's capable of playing it as well. And now the ball is in koolmees' court in order to try to make something out of this. It has to be said that some of your best projectiles for Jacko take a little bit of time to set up. They do go through a lot of projectiles, so technically, if you had a minion out, and if you theoretically had time to kick them at Asuka, I think they should go through a lot of stuff. But it does take a lot of time to get to that point, whereas Asuka is just one cast away from sending like a cascade of cubes at your direction, at which point you would have to interact with them, right? You would have to strike into those with your normals instead, which is usually the go-to way of kind of playing against Asuka. Cubes are, on layer 1, tons of value. If the opponent does not do anything about the cubes, you can just send them at the opponent, cycle your hand, keep doing your thing, keep getting better cards, and maintain your resources, and that's, yeah, it's kind of quite awful. But of course, the opponent always wants to try to interact with the cubes if possible. Try to poke into them, 5B, 6B, whatever your best buttons are. Try to eliminate them, and if you have some sort of good cancels, ooh, but let's see this reversal. I think that's /active, so should go through the wall. The downside is that, oh, not actually breaking the wall, huh? Chapter 5D. Backdash against the blue Wild Assault, and then retaliation. That was pretty good. It was a... I mean, you kind of had to invest something there in order to, you know, bring that home. But that burst is going to be gone for a while. I think this is with acceleration staff active because the projectiles were so fast. Black hole staff is active. Test case 3 online. Oh my goodness. This orbit ain't gonna end anytime soon. And it's so tough, even though the black hole staff orbit is so high up in the air. Oh, by the way, I think I forgot to put this lobby on rematch. So let's fix that while we're at it. Put it on rematch, like that. But yeah, as I was about to say, the black hole staff, even if you set it in a place where it's not like exactly immediately in, like on your opponent, the orbit that it creates around your opponent's vicinity, it's kind of hard. Like even there's probably some timing in terms of like how, like the frequency with which the cubes hit you when they're rotating around the staff, but it's kind of hard to still do anything. They rotate rather fast after all, and if you make a mistake, you're gonna take a hit, probably take half of your hit points as damage, and yeah, you can't afford to do that against Asuka, not at all. While everything is sort of progressing as well, Asuka is going to be cycling his deck. Speaking of the deck, Zikra still in test case 1 here, so working with the basic stuff. Air-to-air trade allows Zikra to have a little bit of time to cycle the deck, go into test case 3, and test case 3 is the one where you tend to have a lot of variance. You tend to have your best stuff in test case 3, or wait, was that test case 2? I thought I saw the extra gravity stuff, which is native to test case 2, so maybe Zikra was at some point at test case 2 there. Interesting. Or was it the chaotic option that brought that? No, that's not possible. That's not possible. But lots of mana has been erased from Zikra's mana shield here. Would be a big opportunity for koolmees. Plus 10, time to start it up. But again, Zikra is so good at predicting when the blue wild assaults are coming out. Almost all the time backdashing them, and I think Asuka has a decently active backdash as well. Is it 6 frames for Asuka? No, I think it's 5. It's 5, but it does move him back quite a bit. It's kind of like Sin Backdash Mini, because it keeps you grounded as well, as far as I understand. Okay, 6B, sending a couple of cubes, would like to shuffle. Shuffle indeed we do. Bit shift, working with only 1 cube. Oh, this is not a great hand. If koolmees is looking at the hand of Zikra here, this would be basically the go time. Oh, that hand is bricked! Unless you get the hit, combo into the rainbow cube, and now Zikra has gotten rid of all of his cubes, and that's a good hand. That's a good hand. Cycle. Kinda had to sacrifice a little bit of life to transfer life into mana. Oh, good play by koolmees. Using the rainbow cube as an anti-air. The sort of downside of the rainbow cube is if your opponent is grounded, it's really easy to poke into, and because of the cast time, like it's easy to see it manifest, it's easy to poke into it, and then probably easy to follow up with some sort of cancel as well. Although Jacko, I don't think Jacko has like the best cancels as far as like her special department goes. Like like she has 2D, of course, which you can, I guess, try to low profile some of the cubes. Should be able to like low profile the standard cubes other than the green ones, because the green ones have spread, the triple green. Alright, look at that risk gauge. Using a lot of is it the minion retrieval command to reset the pressure? Interesting way to do it. You could also opt to, like if you want to bluff your opponent like that, you could try to take out minions and send them at your opponent during your pressure if they're just too passive. And I know Zikra is very patient on defense. Knows how to block, knows how to hold back for a great long periods of time. With 6B. Combo into, we have Black Hole Staff and 2 Arpeggios online, and they're still gonna keep on orbiting. Just runs through them. Okay, no fear for koolmees, absolutely, and being close enough. Not even the green cubes were able to split fast enough
be able to sort of catch koolmees out of it. Yeah, it looks like 2D is kinda good, which is probably understandable. Like, if you don't have that 2D, what do you have as Jacko against the wizard? Do the other side, jump heavy cleaves, all sides, front and back. That's a cool tool as well, the jump D from Jacko. Able to hold her momentum in the air and sort of trade into some of the like single durability cubes, it looks like. But now, oh no, this is a lot of lockdown. The only saving grace for koolmees is that the wall broke rather early. Still 2 arpeggios, don't let him cast, oh no. Oh gosh, that's 3 teleports. Yeah, use the super, use the mulligan super in order to try to get something better. I mean, we got standard stuff. That standard stuff that, you know, Zigra was able to shuffle into, certainly better than whatever he was working with before. That was a triple teleport. I mean, we've seen ingenious plays for Zigra for having like just teleport in his hand, but let's be honest, that's not the hand that you usually want to be working with. You jump out, interception, and actually gets a cast there. So shuffle we go. Changing the test case 3, finally looking for the big combo pieces. Arpeggio is available, but unless we have coverage from other cubes, such as the bit shift, it's hard to be able to get to the arpeggio, which is the gates, this spell. One of the best spells for lockdown in Asuka's kit. We have a lot of good stuff here. Two lasers, 1 bit shift, and then some utility. Ooh, both players going for the throw. Bit shift breaks into multiple pieces. Good, still gets a 6p out there. Deflect shield to push away. However, the wizard, I don't think the wizard cares very much. Getting pushed to that distance, we're still ready to cast more cubes. In fact, that might be worse for you. So it's a really particular conundrum when you are at your last hit point and you're like, shit, I'm taking chip damage here. Test case 2, by the way. We have I think that's the increased gravity staff, which is extremely funny if Zigra manages to actually plant it and get value out of it. There we go, boing. Another buff cast that is native to, oh my god, I've actually never seen arpeggio bounce with the increased gravity staff. That is funny stuff. But I mean, it's not like, it's kind of easy to see why people don't tend to favor test case 2 that much, because it's just very hard to use compared to the instant gratification, the instant value that you get from test case 3. This shit right here. Oh, got clipped by the 3 green cubes. Comboing to the rainbow, another one. Hand looking a little dangerous here. Bit shift level 1, so that bit shift is gonna level up as the time progresses. But it starts as a very weak nuke spell. Rest of the hand is currently utility. Are we dead? Ah, I see. koolmees said the Strive crashed, huh? It's okay. We can probably replay because it was first round, right? And it was a little, the situation was a little interesting because Zigra had almost no life left, but was in a commanding position, which is a little hard to evaluate because, like, you would usually reduce yourself to very low health anyway by doing the health to mana transfer. But yeah, evaluating the difference between test case 1, test case 2, and test case 3 is easy to say, like, sort of easy to see why Asuka players have historically gravitated towards the test case 3 so much. Because it's like, all the good stuff is in there. It's also the easiest test case to brick your hand, but I think some Asuka players nowadays have started to do a thing where they're trying to play test case one hand a little longer, trying to get advantage with like the standard cube, starting with the very basics, starting with the very basic cube RPS, which is like honestly not bad. It's interactable. I would say Asuka's like, whether you like it or not, Asuka's neutral is some of the most interactable neutral in the freaking game. Considering that it's like a shit ton of projectiles, right? The only character in the game whose projectiles you can poke into and potentially get good outcomes out of that. But reactable doesn't always mean that it's easy to deal with. For you never know which spell Asuka is gonna cast. There are always 4 different options. Asuka might be holding standard cube, which is easy to interact with. But Asuka might also be holding a screamer, which is basically like a half screen instant nuke, which is completely uninteractable. So like you're trying to guess which spell this character is gonna be cast next, and then pick your option based on that. And there's a little bit of RPS in that sort of way for Asuka to try to bait you into interacting with things that are actually not interactable. It's a very interesting kind of guessing game that can be annoying if you don't understand what all the spells do. If you still haven't learned what all the spells do, by the way, go into the Dustloop wiki and just check what the spells do, and it's so much better after that. But yeah, once you understand like the basic functionality of all the spells and you know got like some sort of idea how Asuka flows, which can be achieved by just, I don't know, go watch Gobo's old games or something, and you understand like how you usually use the standard cubes to get things started, then cast a better cube with the cube coverage, and then if you scored a hit, shuffle more, activate buffs, that kind of stuff. You start, it's kind of easy to eventually start seeing like how, or rather what spells Asuka wants to cast next. And at that point, it starts being a really fun kind of guessing game. When you're like, it feels very, there's a lot of gratification when you guess right what's gonna be coming next. But of course, there are moments like this where you're like, shit, I guessed wrong, and Asuka gets to basically cast all of his win condition cards, if you will. Is this test case 2 again? So test case, oh, takes the burst, however, doesn't get the punish, it doesn't matter. We got the lockdown, had decent enough amount of those standard cubes there to hold koolmees in place for probably a couple more seconds. Speaking of that, Screamers, that is one of the cards that Zikra has in his hand. But I mean, once it's gone, those like, the good cards are usually very rare to draw into. So if you manage to clear those, if you manage to avoid those, usually, that's an RPS win. That means that card probably isn't gonna appear anytime soon again. Oh, what are these? F-Shiki into teleport cross-up. But Zikra, for all of his trouble, still in the corner. Activate auto-import. That buff, basically, this should go through, right? Yeah, the auto-import makes sure that as soon as you cast a spell, it's gonna bring another card to replace it. But Zikra wasn't able to get much value out of that. Could activate again, has another copy of that. Blue cube into... Oh my god, this is tough hand to control. Okay, wait, the rainbow cube actually has more durability? What? It's interesting because I haven't, I don't understand a whole lot about this matchup, but sometimes you see koolmees throwing minions at some of the cubes and the cubes just don't expire. So I wonder what, like, do some of the cubes have like unique durabilities based on what they collide with? Is a good question. Screamer into Wild Assault into a throw. We got another one of those screamers. Usually, like, there are a lot of different ways of using that tool. You could just use that for just use it right away, use it for space control, but a lot of people like to do stuff like TK Screamer to put yourself in a slightly better position to then fire more spells. Immediate YRC against the DP spells. Slightly unfortunate because that would have been a punish for koolmees, but you know what they say about fighting games and the fast pace of the matches. Good cube to cast there. The spreading triple cube, that is the green one. The further you are away from Asuka, the more value that green cube is gonna gain as the sort of triple cube is spreading around and much harder to poke into. Good snipe here. Starting from instant air dash, we're starting with a pressure that looks like actual Jacko pressure. Opening the arpeggio. Was initially very low on mana, but I think used the health to mana conversion here to fix all of the mana problems. I think that's the mana, or rather the health is never an issue for Asuka, because you have such a high defensive modifier anyway with your mana shield. This time gets a punish, missed the previous one. Got the glow slash in there, open the arpeggio, shuffle your hand. That's a shit hand if I say so. However, Zikra making the best out of it, teleporting for a mix-up and then shuffling more. And the way that was kind of a bricked hand is like usually when you only have utility in your hand, it's hard to interact with your opponent, right? Because usually the utility hands are meant to work in tandem, hand in hand with your other spell, using the overhead spell into opening the arpeggio again. Doesn't care about the deflect shield at all. Lands straight in. Wait, huh? I thought Zikra was gonna have a close slash there, but koolmees, all right, landing into a close slash like a thief, like a rogue in the dark. We'll happily take that for sure. Sliding under the cube. Yeah, the yellow and the blue cube are way more standard projectiles where you just send one projectile towards your opponent and it looks like 2D should be able to go under both of those. Nice air throw, crisp. Shuffling the hand, getting a mixed 5D somewhere in the middle of there, and koolmees just casually blocked that. Blocked the lower head as well, or the 6K, which is a low, I believe. Nice poking into the minion. Both characters can play this game. I mean, technically both characters should play this game. I was talking about how you know, Asuka's zoning is the only interactable zoning in the game, but actually Jacko is very similar because you can poke into her minions as well. Basically the exact same kind of concept. But it's just so different when these characters are sort of pitted against each other. You don't quite get to see the sort of the full power, I suppose, of Jacko very much. Because a lot of it seems to be nullified by the wizard. Cycling, would like to cast the arpeggio. Here we go. One gate, 2 gates. The big cube in the way. We could poke into that, although I think koolmees hasn't attempted to poke into the big cube even once this set. Nice interception with the jump B. However, it is jump B, and jump Bs don't do that much in Strive universally. Or rather, they have really poor convertibility, let's put it like that. Drifting backwards. Gate is open. Have another one. Oh, you're not gonna survive this. Not without a burst. That is what we call Exodia in the industry. Having lots of buffs active from test case 3, using the gravity staff and then just blasting away so that your opponent has really bad time. Right, minion, sandwich, activated. Jacko, stop, Pog. Rare footage of not being able to backdash koolmees' Wild Assault. Drifting into 2S, misses one time, but so did Zikra. I think Zikra thought that koolmees would have gone for an immediate air throw, so prompted or attempted to attack it, which also caused Zikra to take a punish on the landing there. Nice interruption once again. Jump PP from the backwards momentum. Time to block some cubes. That orbital around that staff is basically an impenetrable zone. Look at that. Critical mass. Oh, that's actually interesting. I don't think I've ever seen that. So when the black hole staff dissipates, all the cubes that still have duration left kind of spread from their orbit and maintain some of the physics that they had in the black hole, it looked like. That's really cool. I never realized that that's actually the case. God, this character Asuka is so damn cool. All right, getting a lot of good value from minions here, koolmees. Get the soccer on the minion earlier. Oh, the 5D is a little too far. But now also Zigra working with only one sort of semi-fast cast spell. So it's gonna be kind of hard to do anything here with anything other than like universals. Backdash, jump, trying to press your normals. Would this reach? Yes, indeed. Snatched out of the backdash. I feel like Asuka has like semi-big body backdash. Doesn't really have the 6 frames of invis, but it has a lot of duration. Probably because of the big sub to the other side. With the acceleration staff. I wonder if the acceleration staff actually makes the arpeggio cubes weaker or stronger, because they expire faster. So kind of like the whole point of you using the gate spell, the arpeggio, is that you want to lock down your opponent for as long as possible. They do guard crush while acceleration staff is active, but it also means that the arpeggio itself is going to be over much faster. Teleport to the other side again! It's kind of like Possession from Testament, but even better. But also, I guess... Yeah, it's hard to evaluate. Deflect shield. Rare footage of doing something, because Zigra was actually doing stuff with the normals instead of the projectiles, but it only does so much. Zigra is strong with this character. And koolmees has gotten so few opportunities to get the party started. This is party starter for sure. Keep the minion behind the opponent. Yep. Got very decent amount of value there. Now, with that half-life that koolmees was able to deal, Zigra will probably have to sacrifice more of that later in order to fix this mana situation. Does so, consumes a little bit of life. Cycle. But also was able to cycle into the mana recharge spell from test case 3. So that's gonna help alleviate the situation a little bit. Ooh, tough one. We got bit shifts ready to be unleashed. Lots of chip damage, and koolmees is at so low health. And almost 0 tension as well. There, really at that point, there were no good options to be played. It's like you have to struggle out of it, but at the same time, it's like almost impossible to survive. And koolmees will have to bring his A game here, because this is set point ZigraDVD. Ooh, Deflect Shield does push you far away. All right, get the punish. Hand is a little hard to work with once again. The big cube was basically the only offensive spell that Zigra had there. And still has one standard cube now. Waiting for the mana to come back. Nice 6p to the wrong direction, or perhaps the right direction, depending on your point of view. Cast the blue, the green, into arpeggio, into more. With that almost casted off screen, that's really funny. 6p into, drain more mana. Again, okay, but well, at least he has that. I was about to say, a lot of difficult to work with spells here, but casting really fast, and that black hole staff was the icing on the cake. I think the black hole staff was what saved Zigra's hand there. Sort of. I mean, he was in a position to just cast away and potentially cycle the hand as well, so it's tough. It looks really tough. Zigra is super good with the Asuka.
And I feel like when you play a strong Asuka player like this, you have to have really good knowledge of the character. Not just your own, but you have to know stuff about Asuka. You have to know a lot. For example, like it's like a bit like when you see the rainbow cube, the big cube come out, for instance, you usually gotta poke into it really fast. Get rid of it as fast as possible. But if you don't know that, for instance, and there are tons and tons of different interactions like that, if you don't know the layer 1 answer, you're sort of gonna lose by default, because there's no RPS to be had. You're not interacting. Therefore, Asuka can just keep doing the things that he usually does. Keep cycling, keep holding you down, rather locking you down, and furthering the agenda. But yeah, I think that's all of our matches for tonight. Even though we had this, chat, I'm gonna be honest, this felt like an 8 matchup card, even though we only had 6 matches. That's how invested I was in the matches. That's how heavy the matches were as well. A lot of them went just down to the wire. I think I gotta pat the matchmaking team in the back for this one, huh? I wonder who those guys are. Shit. Made some really good work today. Anyway, you probably know the deal how this Bounty Hunters thing is gonna work out. We have event number 200 next week. Wow, that is a round number. And if you want to sign up for that one, you can join my Discord, and in the Google Sheets to sign up are gonna be posted there in just a couple of minutes after we go offline. That said, I'm looking for perhaps a place to send you guys off to. I see. Let's see. Do we see Bounty Hunters regulars? I see Blink. So let me send you over to Blink's direction. The chip player that we have had the pleasure of spectating here and there across Bounty Hunters Strive history. But yeah, thank you so much for being part of this week as well. Lots of interesting matches. I'm super tired. I'm gonna retire. Hope you guys have an absolutely blast of your Sunday evening. And we see you again next week, same time, 5 p.m. CEST, with more FT7 matches. Till then, stay safe. Bye-bye.